I didn't know we had any kind of issue here last night or today or whatever.
Yeah, I saw it on the news last night. It was small, bunch of idiots. Down,
Was it
like,
small?
Yeah, near like the Capitol building.
I don't really see any pictures. Oh, here's a few. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing like down in L.A., but there was definitely some smoke bombs, pepper spray, it looks like, arrests.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome, my friends, to the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. Our goal is to make your life a little bit better. If you've been ripped off or taken advantage of, maybe a contractor didn't show up to actually start the job after you gave some money down. Maybe you got a landlord and the heat has not been working or the air conditioner. Well, that's a little different, and I'm not going to get into that at this very second, but maybe the heat didn't work. Maybe the hot water's not there. You get the idea. We're here to help, and we've been doing it for many, many, many years. In fact, to the tune of over $300 million. Think about that. In cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, services, directly due to this show. I'm going to give the phone numbers out. We got open lines right now. It's a beautiful Wednesday. 303-713-8255. Any question you have, 303-Martino, 303-Martino. You can also email us at help@troubleshooter.com. And by the way, this hour is brought to you by Paul the Waterman. I love what Paul does. He sells the best systems out there for less money than anybody else. By the way, he's a master plumber. He just doesn't, talk the talk. He walks the walk. This guy knows more about water than anybody I know out there. He's got a system right now for under $3,700 that gets rid of the chlorine. It gets rid of all the PFAS, those little pieces of microplastics that are in everything now. In fact, if you're in Castle Rock and some other places in Colorado, it's horrible. In fact, I'll mention this real quick. I read an article, Chatfield Reservoir. Chatfield. They say don't eat the fish you catch out of Chatfield because there's so many PFAS in there. So his system will get rid of that for your entire house and soften your water, all for under $3,700. It's an amazing deal, but that's it. Waterpros.net. That's waterpros.net. Now, 303-713-8255. A ton of stuff going on. I didn't realize last night we had some issues in downtown Denver. Suzanne and I just got back into town, and I guess I don't want to call them riots. I didn't really see the video, but it looked like there was some protests going on, and it looked like, according to at least Fox or 9 News, there was somewhere around 13 or 15 different arrests made. Of course, we all saw what was going on in Los Angeles. That was pretty crazy. Trump sent in the National Guard, which is unbelievable. And then I guess there's some Marines there protecting some of the federal property. Man, talk about escalating. I've never seen, like, the far left, and I mean, I don't even mind saying the far right or the current administration. I actually don't consider Trump the far right, but he's definitely to the right. The way they escalate each other is pretty amazing. They just come out feuding constantly, and I don't know when the end of it will be. I'm just happy the stock market's still doing good. I'm happy Tesla has come back up. I owned a lot of Tesla stock, and that guy went kind of insane there for a little bit. I mean, my God, a feud between him and Trump. 2 billionaires bitching at each other publicly that were great friends not long ago was absolutely insane. Dr. Joel Cherdak joins me in studio. Dr. Joel is the owner of DenverRegen.com. A lot of people know I've been on that diet medication, and I get it through Denver Regen. In fact, Doc, I took my shot this morning, and I'm so used to it. I remember when I first started 6 months ago, I was terrified, literally terrified the shot would hurt. And it is such a nothing burger. It's crazy. You don't even feel it, honestly.
Right. That's the same experience we get with most of our patients. It's a little fear of the needle, which is understandable, but it's an insulin needle. It's like almost microscopic.
It's amazing.
You really don't feel it.
Yeah, you don't have to like find an artery or anything. You just basically put it right in your stomach. You feel nothing. And I know that sounds horrible because I was one of those people that put it off. But, I wanted to get rid of that last 40 pounds. I weighed a little over 230. I'm down to like 195. In fact, I just got back from Las Vegas, some of the best food in the world, and I actually lost a pound while I was there.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I know, but you think of the money you save, too, with restaurants.
Especially in Las Vegas.
Especially in Las Vegas. There's some wonderful restaurants. I'd argue Las Vegas has the best food in the country, better than New York City, better than California. They fly stuff in fresh every hour on the hour from the coastline, from wherever it needs to be. Go ahead, Doc.
I think you're right. The only difference is being in New York, I have to stand up for us. The quantity is unbelievable in New York.
Yeah, they give you more food.
Well, no. I mean, the number of places you can eat.
Oh, Doc, when's the last time you've been to Vegas? I mean, there's like 8 million restaurants.
Yeah, but then there's 20 million in New York City.
That's probably
That's all
true.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. The food there is unbelievable.
And Italian food in New York City is delicious. South Jersey, where I grew up.
Of course.
Some of the best Italian food in the world. Cheesesteaks over in Philadelphia. There's still nothing like a Philly cheesesteak. Where'd you grow up, Doc?
South Florida.
Oh, wow.
Seafood, fish.
Yeah, and it's cheap.
Stone crabs.
It's abundant and it's cheap.
Yep.
I mean, really.
Yep.
And then we've been looking out there possibly for a house or a winter getaway, to put it in a better way. So, Susanna, I've been out there in Louisiana and other places.
Shrimp and grits, Mark.
Oh, she loves it. Grits. It's crazy.
Hey, Mark, you're going to have to say the Doc 1 or Doc 2 so we know who you're talking to today.
Yeah, that's true. 2 docs. I'll say retired doc.
Okay.
That's you. And not retired doc. That's Dr. Joe. These guys over at Denver Regen, they have a new product I wanted to talk about and kind of dive into. And I'm very interested in it for numerous reasons. And one of them is, years ago, and I just want to get this part out of the way. Years ago, we had a company on, Doc. Suzanne, who was it with the shipped-in stem cells? Who was that?
Oh.
For the life of me, I can't.
Mark, that escapes me right this second.
I can't think of the guy's name.
Check in at 3 a.m.
Yeah. There's two companies I can remember, 3 companies I can remember hating to deal with that we actually advertised.
Centeno.
No, Centeno's good.
Okay.
Yeah, Centeno was the guy that kind of started stem cells in a way. But anyhow, that's a different story. But I can't think of the name of this clinic, but basically they were shipping in stem cells that did nothing. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. We had more than one person show up to this clinic. This is probably over 10 years ago, way pre-COVID. God, I wish I could remember the damn name of that place. But anyhow, Doc, they were just rip-offs. They were charging $15,000, and they were basically saying that, you get this magic potion of stem cells that we get from wherever they got it, China, or I don't even remember where they got it. And if you had a bad shoulder, bam, your shoulder was fine. You have a bad knee, bam, your knee's fine.
I think it was some amniotic fluid, Mark, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it probably was. But regardless of any of that, the bottom line was the product wasn't working.
Correct.
It just simply wasn't working. So we kind of part ways with those guys. But there was that one. Then there was the solar company, Solar Mart. And we advertised for them for a long time. And then the guy just got, I don't know what happened to him, honestly. I have no idea. The guy just went crazy. And we had to kill that relationship. And then there was one more that I just lost my train of thought on, but there was one more. But, Doc, I want to talk about this neuropathy and your stem cell treatment.
Yes.
Okay? I mean, I really do want to dive in and understand it. When we talked about what you guys do for hair last time you were in, it was amazing. My education level went way up on it because you do use some form of stem cells, PRP,
right,
along with the actual transplant. And the results, results are what results are, and they're unbelievable.
Right. Well, Tom had the procedure done. He spoke about it on his show
numerous times,
and talked about how well it worked for him.
It worked so well for him, it was crazy. Now, yeah, because of his current situation, just getting over cancer, and he had some chemo and stuff, that didn't exactly help the hair by any means.
Certainly.
But I'll tell you this, before that, I was absolutely shocked how quick his hair was growing.
Yep.
It was amazing.
Yes.
In fact, I've never seen anything like it. And I digress. It was absolutely crazy. But now you guys have something for neuropathy. And I don't suffer from neuropathy, but I know a lot of diabetics do.
Correct.
So I kind of want to dive into that, and I want to dive in the actual results. Once again, to me, everything comes down to results. I've seen it with hair. I've done your diet drug. I'm down to basically 195, 35 pounds in less than 6 months. By the way, do most people hit like a plateau? I hit a plateau at about, I want to say 20 or 25 pounds, and that next 10 pounds took a lot longer. I'd say a lot longer. It only took like a month. But then the original, is that normal quick?
That's very typical.
Why is that?
Those first pounds are easier for your body to shed.
They just get rid of them.
Your body, as you get to a point where your body needs more of the mass that you have, it becomes a little bit more challenging to reduce that weight. And I want to address this just briefly. One thing that we do that a lot of clinics that are out there offering these products don't offer is guidance by our medical doctor and our medical team.
Yeah, an MD.
An MD and a patient coordinator.
And I deal with my doc over there is Hung.
Right.
And I love the guy.
He's our weight loss and weight management specialist.
He's on literally, I hate to say it, but I'm sure it's just not me. He's on my beck and call.
Yeah, he gives you his personal number, and you can reach out to him anytime.
Yeah.
But the point I was trying to get to is many patients do get to a point where they reach a plateau, and one of the options that we have for them is to increase the dosage if they're tolerating it well.
Yeah.
And that will allow...
And I didn't do that. I didn't increase it. It just seemed like after a couple weeks, and it just started working again.
Well, and that's great.
And I wasn't eating anymore. That's the part that's kind of mind-blowing to me. Because it's not like all of a sudden I was starting to get hungry or thinking of food. Nothing changed there. Yeah. Just all of a sudden the weight loss didn't continue on the same path.
Right. And the point
bam.
And the point I was trying to get to is that because you have that access to our medical staff, you can have this conversation with them, and they can give you very great advice and details about what options different options you have, and doing it in a safe way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clinics out there that you're almost self-diagnosing, deciding how much you want to use without any guidance.
No.
And frankly, that's dangerous.
Well, yeah, and you guys simply don't do that. So let me take this quick break. I want to come back and talk, really do somewhat, not a total deep dive. I don't want to lose half our audience, but there's a lot of people that suffer from neuropathy. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And this new treatment, the results, once again, I talk results, are incredible. All right, I do have lines open. I'm not sure what happened to Linda there. Maybe I was talking too much. 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. Hold tight. Wow. What's that? Let's see here. Let's see. Who do I have? Okay. Discount Bath. Chris and the gang do such a great job. Where else can you get a brand new bathroom? Maybe you just want a tub to shower conversion because you're sick of that old tub shower thing. Or maybe you want the entire bathroom redone. Maybe you want a bigger closet. Maybe you want to get rid of the bathtub altogether and get a bigger vanity. Maybe you want beautiful porcelain walls and a steam shower, one of the fancy toilets. You name it, these guys can do it, and they do it at a discount price. They've been out to our house. I love the different ideas they have. In fact, when you initially meet with these guys, they're going to tell you all the different options for your space. And once again, you can't beat it as far as price. They have tub to shower conversions, brand new bathrooms starting at $9,988. I promise you that's one of the lowest prices you're going to find out there. DiscountBath.com. You can also take a quick video, upload it right there on that website, and they can give you ideas over the phone and some pricing. Not many people do that either. DiscountBath.com. CMG Financial. I am dealing with John Clace right now. My son's buying a house in Nebraska, and it is so nice dealing with a direct lender. You're not dealing with a middleman that goes out and shops your information to different banks. You're dealing with them. You're dealing with the lender. They do over $2 billion. Their rates are way better. They can do reverse mortgages at the best price out there. They can do an all-in-one loan, which is basically a 30-year line of credit, a first deed on your house. In fact, they have a product for reverse mortgages that's a second. You got to check these guys out. They're the direct lenders. Save money, save time. Check out John and the gang at partnerinlending.com. Partnerinlending.com. I wonder how Tommy will take to his first treatment post-surgery.
Hopefully okay.
The first two
he
or
won't
three...
have the pump in as long.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's like before he has had treatment Tuesday, pump Wednesday, Thursday, pump out Friday. This time it's treatment Wednesday, pump Thursday, pump out Friday.
It all seemed to catch up with him last time, like after...
A few weeks, like a month.
Yeah, like a month. It was crazy. It's like, I was like, wow, that dude's Superman on chemo. And then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, then it really got him. Poor guy.
Yay!
What?
Trump and Elon
Did
are
they
big,
make
beautiful friends again. 2 billionaires. The most powerful man in the world and the richest man in the world. It is like, wouldn't you love to be behind the scenes with those two? And I do think Elon might do some hallucinatives occasionally and come a little unglued.
He doesn't seem to be shy about it.
I think so.
He just spun off the wheels a little bit.
I'm on mushrooms, man.
What was the ketamine that he said? He said nobody had any idea just how much ketamine he was using while he was in Doge.
What is ketamine?
It's
They put dogs to sleep with it.
Yeah.
But they use it now for psychotherapy purposes. But all they really do in those sessions is just like give somebody an IV injection of them and watch them and let them be high for half an hour. It's short acting, so it's just like.
And don't let anybody tweet on ketamine.
Right.
Some people swear by it. I think it's an excuse to just use drugs under supervision.
Yeah, without having to go to jail.
Yeah.
Or like the mushrooms, they say people microdose now.
Now that I think has some therapeutic effect to it.
Do you really?
I really do believe that, and I've seen it. But not with ketamine. Ketamine just makes people go through it, in my opinion.
Can you actually, is there prescriptions for mushrooms now?
I don't know.
I think the state is.
All right, 303-713-8255. Don't forget, you can check out Troubleshooter Network on YouTube and listen to us during the breaks. We were actually talking, the doc and myself were talking about different therapies out there now, and we're going to dive back into that stem cell. But 303-713-8255, I'd love to hear from you. Any questions, any problems, anybody you want to tell us about, any bad guys out there, I want to help. 303-713-8255. Lines are open. Now, Doc, it was funny. It's funny how conversations kind of, they're so fluid. We were talking about stem cell therapy and we were talking about neuropathy, and we're going to get back to that. But I asked you a question because we were talking about Elon Musk and Trump. And I said, I think Elon does some hallucinatives occasionally. And you said that you read that he was doing ketamine?
I read that he had made a statement that nobody really understood just how much ketamine he was using while he was working in the White House.
Really?
Yes.
And ketamine, we were talking about, is a veterinarian drug.
It's a tranquilizer.
Yeah, but don't they like give it to animals before they put them to sleep? That's what gets them to the point where they're at least comfortable. Then they hit them with the death.
Yeah, or before surgery, yes.
Or before surgery.
Yeah.
So, but the interesting part is you said people actually go into some form of therapy now with this ketamine.
There's ketamine therapy that's out there. Now, I'm not an expert on this at all. I just want to make that clear. But there are clinics that offer ketamine therapy.
So you would sit down, in theory, I mean, like you said, you guys don't do this, but excuse me. And you sit there with what, a shrink? And the shrink actually shoots you up? And then you have a conversation? I mean, from what you do know of it, what does that look like?
From what I do know of that is there's a therapist involved and probably somebody with a medical license, because it does need to be administered intravenously. And they get an intravenous drip of ketamine, and then they go into, a hallucinatory or a state of
Do you
mind.
think there's benefits to that?
From what I've seen, my personal thoughts are that I don't necessarily think so.
Okay.
I think that it's quasi-medicine. A lot of stuff is quasi-medicine. But
it sounds like people that just want to get high to me. But I don't know. I don't have PTSD. I don't suffer from different things that might help, because then our conversation, I said, well, in Denver, aren't mushrooms, like they're doing therapies with mushrooms now, or microdosing?
Right.
And you said there might be a benefit to that, or some of the research you've read.
Well, I have more experience speaking with patients who have undergone that type of therapy. And from what I've gathered, people do get a benefit, particularly when they're dealing with psychological trauma, PTSD in particular.
Does it help them talk about it better? Or it helps them to actually understand the trauma better, therefore making their lives a little better, understanding why they're not feeling good?
I don't really know, but I would say that most likely what's occurring is that they're able to process and talk through the trauma in a way that resets their brain, so that they're not experiencing, the panic attacks and those other types of things that go along with PTSD.
So years ago, 25 years ago, I was getting some anxiety. And I was on, what was that stuff called, Suzanne?
Xanax?
Xanax. And it was only for a couple months. And I talked to this one therapist, okay? And I said, what do you think about Xanax? I said, simply as that. I said, just give me your thoughts on it. And she says, I think it gives you more anxiety. I said, well, what does that mean? She goes, well, you have anxiety, you take it, the anxiety goes away, and you start building up a tolerance, so you got to take more of it. When you take more of it, and as the medication is wearing off, you get more anxiety and more anxiety. So I just got off of it 25 years ago after only 2 months on it, because I truly bought in to exactly what she was saying. Like, if you're on something like that long term, and I'm not an MD, I'm not a doctor, but just from that personal experience, I do believe that. And I think some of that could be true with children. I think a lot of people put kids on drugs at a very young age now, and I don't think it's beneficial. I'm not saying it's not beneficial to everybody, but I think it's kind of crazy to treat kids that have depression or something with drugs at an early age.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree wholeheartedly with that.
Yeah, and I think it does some. Doc, what do you think? You've delivered 1,000 babies.
I think treating young children with drugs, unless it's absolutely necessary, is not a good idea. The brain is still forming.
Yeah.
And I'm not a child psychiatrist, but I don't think that...
And I'm not saying there's some that don't need it.
No, but I think for the most part, unless it's absolutely necessary, you don't want to mess around with the formation of your brain, which is going to last you for hopefully 85, 90 years.
I'd love to talk to someone that's been on some of the psychedelics that it's actually done good for PTSD. I mean, real cases, because I've done mushrooms, of course, recreationally years ago.
Sure.
In my 20s, I ate mushrooms and I tripped my ass off. Yeah. I didn't learn anything, but like,
I don't think it's quite the same. I don't think it's quite the same in how they're being used today in a therapeutic clinical setting.
I can't even imagine sitting down and talking to a psychologist or a psychiatrist with the amount of mushrooms I ate. I'd make no sense.
Well, there's probably amongst the listening audience today a couple of folks who have undergone this type of therapy because of how popular it's become. Hopefully one of them will call in and tell us about their experience. Now,
let's dive back into the neuropathy. Mm-hmm. So you guys are now treating neuropathy basically on the foot and foot only at this time.
No, that we actually treat it in the hands as well.
And it
just happens to be that foot neuropathy seems to be a very common thing that people are getting, and people are desperate for relief of that because you can't really walk very well.
So I'm such a layman in this, and I've understood a lot more of it just talking to you, because before I was going to be talking about this product, I had to understand it, and we sat down outside of the show and we talked for a long time.
Yeah.
The nerve damage. The nerve damage is generally caused, and please correct me as I go, with diabetes. It's the sugar buildup.
Right. The majority of our patients that come to us for foot neuropathy issues are suffering foot neuropathy as a result of diabetes.
Now, when we talk about suffering it because of diabetes, if the diabetes is managed properly and your sugar levels are not high at any given time, you're not going to have that buildup. If you had the perfect diet, I don't even know what the perfect diet looks like, but let's just say the perfect diet for someone that's diabetic. They're basically eating meat and cheese and the little vegetables, whatever looks good for that. Then they're not going to have the neuropathy issue. Is that correct?
Well, it's going to minimize those effects over the long term. You know, these
but it's still going to build up.
It sort of depends on what age you're going to experiencing these types of conditions.
So the sugar builds up, and why does it go to the extremities? Why are those the first nerves generally to get damaged? Because it's harder to flow the blood?
That's part of it, you know, and also they're the smallest nerves because they're the nerve endings at the end of your fingers and at the end of your foot. And they're the furthest to reach with blood flow. So the sugar buildup also builds up inside of the nerve, and it starts to damage the nerve, and that's when you start to get the tingling and numbness and pain, and that inflammation starts to damage the blood vessels around it.
And when you say damage, literally damage.
Shut them down.
Shut them down.
Yes.
So, and then I can't understand what it feels like because I've never suffered it. I have typed a lot, and I might feel some carpal tunnels. Sometimes I assume it does not feel like that.
Burning, tingling, numbness, sharp, you know, lightning, like
real pain.
What we call lancinating pain in medicine, sharp
Does
pain.
it come and go generally with people?
It can. It progresses over time. So it might start off as some tingling and numbness that comes and goes, and then turn into pain, tingling, and numbness that comes and goes, and then turn into numbness.
Numbness like when your foot falls asleep, maybe?
Correct. But
it's like constant. Even when you're walking, that could be happening.
As it progresses, yes. You know, and that's when we see our patients when walking is really becoming uncomfortable and becoming an issue.
I got it. Something that just flares up occasionally. They're not calling anybody.
Yeah, you can manage it with other things. But, you know, once it gets to the point where you're not able to walk around comfortably, there's very few long-lasting solutions that are out there other than the types of treatments that we offer with regenerative
Okay, hold on. I got to take this break. 303-713-8255. I'd love to talk to you. 303 Martino. Let's see here. Fix it. Excel. Yeah, I can't believe these people are actually throwing Molotov cocktails at police. I mean, what do they expect to even, like, get done besides go to prison? How do you negotiate with someone doing that? There's no, you can't have a conversation with someone with a firebomb.
Put them in jail for a year.
Fix it 24/7, free second opinions. It is so important, folks. If you have an estimate for a new air conditioner or a furnace or all the above or a water heater, these guys will do a free second opinion, and I promise you it is worth every bit of it. There is no risk whatsoever. Hopefully you just save money. And better yet, you might find out you don't even need a new system. FixMyHome.com. That's the website. These guys are great. We've been talking about them forever. Free second opinions. And I have seen prices, for example, on water heaters. Same exact water heater, anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000. You got to get a second opinion. FixMyHome.com. That's FixMyHome.com. Excel Roofing. Jay and Henry. Oh, I love these guys. They sold me a hail-proof roof. That's right, hail-proof proof roof. We just got nailed with hail about 2 weeks ago. Some of my neighbors have had people out looking at theirs. I don't even have to look at mine. I know it's perfect. Mine is like a synthetic slate. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you do have hail damage, these guys can upgrade you into something like that. They can come out, do a free inspection. If you think you have a problem, please call the best, where you don't pay a cent until you're content. ExcelRoofing.com. Man, I'm itchy as hell today, babe. Oh, I know why I didn't take... Would you go snag my pills?
Where are they?
I got an allergy pill.
Are they in the car in your little pack thing, or did you bring them in?
No, they're in the car right there in that pack.
All right,
Thank
I'll
you.
go grab them. Sure. Anything else you need?
Nope.
I'll be walking slow.
Have you ever looked at Reddit? They are some of the dumbest people in the entire world.
Well, it's everybody, though. I mean, Reddit's so massive. I mean, they must have 500 million users.
But they ask the dumbest questions I've ever seen.
Yeah, but they're just...
Well,
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's just people.
I know.
There's no difference.
It boggles the mind.
In fact, I bet, let's see, how many Reddit users? I mean, it's massive. 850 million monthly active members.
Wow.
91 million daily. What's our population?
In the country?
Yeah.
350 million.
Think of that.
I know. It's outrageous.
It's the world. You just dogged the entire world, Doc.
It's okay. You are freaking stupid.
No, it's you can find, Reddit comes up in Google results a lot now.
Does it really?
Yeah, so you'll Google something like, something in particular, not like, I'll give you where I usually see it. How do I install a snow thrower on a John Deere R125?
Okay.
And I'll see Reddit stuff come up where people have done it. Yeah, or YouTube, of course.
Right.
But that's where I see a lot of it. But you're right. Some of the questions are like crazy.
I'm going to put it, how do I perform a hysterectomy? See, you know, those two people that are charged with throwing them out, they should be arrested for attempted murder.
Oh, of course they should be. Can you imagine just...
I would just...
Whatever happened to the guy in Boulder? Is there any news on him? Did he... Anything?
I'm sure he's still in custody.
Oh, I guarantee he's in custody.
And they're working on his defense and prosecution.
I don't know if he even wants a defense.
Well,
he was like, I did it. I hate Jews.
As long as the guy's in jail.
Yeah.
This whole thing with ICE is fucking crazy.
You know, I try to understand both sides, but 20 million people coming in is absolutely absurd. Our system, our safety nets for our own people are not set up to handle everybody in the world. They're just simply not. Our hospitals, everything. It's not a country when you have open borders like that.
You know, if I were a Mexican coming into the United States and I was at these riots, I'd be waving an American flag, not a Mexican flag.
That part's amazing, too.
It drives me crazy.
Did you see the guy on the,
Yeah.
like on the moped going around the car on fire with the Mexican flag? All right, 303-713-8255-303 Martino. We're going to dive back into that neuropathy, but I promise I'm always going to take the calls first when you've been ripped off or taken advantage of. But seriously, when we dive back into this, what these guys at Denver Regen are doing, if you suffer from neuropathy, is going to be amazing, and wait till you hear the results on it. But hey, Will, what's going on with this engine, man?
Oh, I bought an engine from a guy. It was a flathead for an old Ford. And I went up and I met with him. He had an engine there ready to go, so I just made a deal with him there and bought it. But I wanted it a different color, so he was going to paint it, and then I was going to pick it up the next week.
What was that in? What was that vehicle in? Or I'm sorry, what was that engine going into? I'm just curious.
It's for a 41 Ford pickup.
Wow, that's pretty cool, man. Have you been rebuilding the whole thing and the engine's the last part, or tell me about the vehicle?
Well, it was my stepdad's father's truck, and he wanted to get it running again, but the motor in it was locked up, so... Why did they
stop? I don't remember. I know they're sought after, but why did they quit making the flathead? Did it just not work? I thought they quit making it like in the 50s, but they had like a 20-year or 30-year run on it.
Yeah, they had a good run, but,
it's just junk, or they just came up with better technology?
Better technology, more power.
Got it. So you bought this from an individual?
Yeah, well, it was a shop, Go Cat Speed Shop.
Is that in Denver? Where is it?
It's in Inglewood, yeah.
Go Cat's Speed Shop. So when you bought it, what was the condition represented as?
It was on the engine stand ready to go, but it was just the wrong color.
Oh, okay, so it's the wrong color. Then what? And forgive my ignorance here, but can't you just spray paint it or no?
Well, that was the plan.
Okay. So what happened?
This has been, I got every excuse in the book. He was gonna paint it, and then this happened, that happened, and
did you pay for it?
He told me one day I paid for it. Wanted to know if I'd be okay if he sold it to somebody else and built me a better one, and I wasn't in a hurry at the time. And I thought, well, for the same price, better.
How much was it?
Yeah, $7,500.
So you walked into Go Cat's speed shop, and you gave them basically $7,500 for a particular engine they had in stock. And then you didn't like the color of it, so he was going to spray paint it. Meantime, someone else wanted to buy it. He calls you up. You agree to that, and that engine's gone. Now, how long has it been? How long have you been waiting for the second one?
I think this started in 2018.
Oh, get out of here. You're telling me you paid him $7,500 in 2018 and you still don't have an engine?
Still don't have an engine. I've gotten every excuse in the book for
Will, there's no exaggeration here. Seriously. In 2018, when did you agree that he could sell that other one and he was going to build you a better one? What year was that?
Same year.
I'm sorry?
Same year. It was a couple weeks after.
So in 2018, so what do they say right now? If I call them up right now and say, where the hell's Will's engine he bought in 2018 for $7,500 that you haven't delivered, what would they possibly say?
Anything he could think of. I've got every excuse in the book. Machine shops are backed up. Parts are on back order. It's
been 8 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Hold on a second. This is nuts. This is absolutely wild. Hold on. It's like, what are we missing on this?
8 years?
8 years. I was trying not to get worked up today, but 8 years?
If the guy put the money in the bank, he could have doubled it, given him back his $7,500, and still made a $7,500 profit. I think it only takes 7 years to double your money, right?
Let's talk about the Art of Granite. Mitch Floria, he has done so many areas in our house. He's done 3 bathrooms, our laundry room, and part of our kitchen. Everything from granite in the kitchen to quartz. I just can't explain what a great job he does. The fabrication, the installation, the countertops are beautiful. In some of the rooms, we use the existing cabinets, but the room looks brand new with those new countertops. In other ones, we bought cabinets from him and sinks. This guy has it all. He can even give you a quote over the phone, and Mitch is a great guy. You're going to love working with the Art of Granite. A lot of projects can be done within 1 week. Check him out at theartofgranite.com. Theartofgranite.com. Vestera Investments, Barry Miller, makes it so easy to become a landlord. Anybody can do it. He finds the right property as an investment for you. He finds the right property manager. He makes sure that rent's collected. You cash flow as the house appreciates. You can sell it. You own it. That's when you make the big bucks. You got to check him out at VesteraTurnkey.com. VesteraTurnkey.com. This is just amazing.
What did he say? Because I missed it getting your stuff.
He said he paid for an engine in 2018, $7,500. When he went to pick it up, it was the wrong color. That's not a big deal. So the guy was going to spray paint it, okay? It's kind of a fancy engine for older Fords. It's old.
Is it exposed, Mark?
Well, a lot of those cars, it can be exposed. Okay. He said that pickup, I mean, I'm not sure, but people want a particular color with the chrome. But anyhow, it's been 8 years and he still doesn't have one, but we're missing a part. At some point, the guy calls up and goes, hey, I got someone else willing to buy this one right now, and I can rebuild you a better one. So you'll have a nicer engine, same price, plus I get to sell this one. So that's what he did. The guy agreed to it, so he sold it, and that's back in 2018. Then all of a sudden, 8 years later, he still doesn't have an engine.
All of a sudden, 8 years goes by.
All of a sudden, 8 years goes by.
What is money?
You know, Doc, I'm doing something with a company on a weekend show for annuities. Can you hear me, Doc? He's zoned out. I'm doing something for a company, one of our clients forever, Become the Banker. Joe. I'm doing a weekend show for him. I basically host it, and him and Jordan are there, and we have guests in. We pre-record 3 or 4 at a time. So we usually go in and record for a month, and they're working pretty good for him. I think on something like the neuropathy, something like that could work if you can find the airtime right, say like in Texas or somewhere, since the advertising as far as the normal rates out there are so high. If you can find something along those lines that airs on a Saturday or Sunday, it can't air at 2 a.m. It's going to do nothing for you. But if you can get something during the day, those formats work really well. It's basically what we're doing here, but that's all we do.
There's a chiropractor that does that, a lot of advertising for neuropathy. Have you heard his commercials? Probably.
And you can actually use that same product in whatever market you're in. We don't have to make it to where it's specific towards anything.
Hey, pardon me, Mark. Our motor coach premium for renewal is going up 3%.
Yeah,
she's asking, is that fine? Do you want to hear
I think
other
you already
options?
billed my credit card.
Oh, I just got this 3 hours ago.
Oh, maybe I got that. I got something. I thought they billed me $7,800 or whatever it is.
Woo. Okay.
Is it Safeco or Progressive?
She doesn't say. I just wondered how you wanted me to respond. I realized you're not in this email, even though she addressed it to both of us. Do you want me to forward it to you?
Yeah, well, tell her to shop it. I don't think that you're going to find a better deal. How do you know Joe, anyhow, just from the show?
No, he was at, this is many, many years ago. He was at
His kid's doing really good, too, man. Jordan's getting really good at what they do. And I'm very comfortable with their product. It's impossible to lose money. The growth is, it's not crazy, but it's great to have in that portfolio that guaranteed damn income when you retire.
You know where I met him? I met him because we were both doing the 9 News morning show.
Oh, yeah. He used to do a lot of that. Yeah. He said those all just wore off, man. He gets nothing out of them anymore. Huh. He quit doing, I don't think he's done a TV one for a while. All right, 303-713-8255. I was telling Suzanne, I thought I was going to be able to get through the day without having a conniption, but I'm having a hard time believing what I'm hearing from Will. He said in 2018, he gives his company, GoCat Speed Shop, GoCatSpeedShop.com, actually. So GoCat Speed Shop takes $7,500. The engine, the flathead, was not the color he wanted, so the guy was just going to spray paint it. That's not a big deal. And in the interim, the guy calls up and says, hey, I got another buyer from this. How about if I sell this one? Then I don't have to paint it to this other guy, and I'll build you one that's even better. And then, all of a sudden, and I jokingly say all of a sudden, 8 years later, this guy still doesn't have an engine. So, Will, when I call up during the break, and I'm going to have Kelly call up, he's simply going to make excuses. What do you want at this point? Do you want your money back?
Well, anything would be ideal.
I mean, is there anything I'm missing that he's going to bring up? In other words, is he going to say, oh, well, I offered him this, and this, but he didn't want it?
No, I've asked for my money back. I've asked for, my engine to be built, of course. Asked him to just return, because after this all happened, I ended up with some extra blocks, so I took him 3 engine blocks just to help him out. Here's 3 blocks if you need them.
And he still wouldn't start with yours and rebuild them?
No, he keeps telling me, he kept telling me, it's waiting on the machine shop, I need heads, the heads are hard to find, this and that. And
hey, Will, when was the last time you spoke to him, and what was the last conversation? What excuse did he give you the very last time you spoke to him?
Let me look at my text messages here, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, roughly how long ago? Well, if you're looking at text, tell us exactly.
I think it was in January.
So this year, and what did he say, and what did you say? I'm curious.
He said he'd give me a flathead by March, or get you paid back by June. Had a rough few months, been sick a few times in a row since December, just getting caught up.
So it's always something like that. He's always sick, or there's always a problem. I mean, always.
Yeah, always.
Always. This is crazy. How does someone justify in their own mind keeping $7,500 and doing absolutely nothing? Not a damn thing for 8 years. I just can't even wrap my head around this one. 8 years. This guy's got to be, okay, in my opinion, at this point, he's a thief. That's just my opinion. Kelly, I want to try to get this guy on the air. I mean, I don't know what else to say right now. I mean, I'm really hoping there is another side to this story, because this is crazy. 8 years later. 8 years.
That's amazing, Mark.
I can't even wrap my head around it. 8 years. I mean, that's like before and after COVID.
I know I'm jumping the gun a little, but how does small claims work after that? I mean, 8 years later, you don't have your money, you don't have your product.
The guy's still promising them as in January.
So that would be like no limitations of time then on that right now.
This is the kind of one, what we really have to do is get all the listeners involved today on this one. But Kelly's going to try to get this guy on. Kelly, pick up, talk to Will, get the guy's phone number. Apparently they're texting, so he's got a cell phone for this guy. Get the owner's name, get the cell phone number, try to get this guy on. There's got to be another side to this story. 303-713-8255. And if there's not, I mean, I just want to light the guy up. I mean, I can't imagine under any circumstance 8 years, $7,500. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I'm hoping I'm praying that there is another side to this story. There has to be. There has to be. We've got that and a lot more coming up. We've got 3 hours to go. 303-713-8255. You can email us at help@troubleshooter.com. We're going to try to get that owner on during the break. I honestly hope he comes on. He said he'd get this guy paid back. If it wasn't done by March, he'd have him paid back in June, and just more and more and more excuses. It looks like Kelly might be talking to him right now, so I'm really curious where that's going to go. We're also going to dive into the neuropathy and how to treat it and how to get rid of that pain. And for people that suffer from it, it sounds like the most horrible thing in the world. And I think you're really going to love what we can tell you about this new therapy from Denver Regen. Get those calls in, 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. Hold tight. We're going to be back right after this.
I am going to sneak onto Dr. Joel's. Let's see here real quick.
Hey, Shannon. Next week, not this, well, hold on, I'm looking at Joe's schedule. Did they ever fix the actual studio shit or no? Okay. I just want to get something on the books to get, so you can have everything set up. Let's see. Okay, have you looked at the definition? Any day except Tuesday. Okay, so let's schedule recording.
Yeah, let me know so I can keep you on track, please.
He can't do it this week, so let's put it down. Are we good all night? Tuesday or Wednesday next week, Shannon, just right after the show? No problem? Okay. So just, Suzanne, just get with Joe and see if he wants to do it Tuesday or Wednesday.
Just text him?
Yeah, say Mark wants to do 3 or 4 episodes on either Tuesday or Wednesday right after the show.
Alrighty.
Why do you say that? Oh. Here's something.
Record, did you say 2 episodes?
No, 4.
4 episodes next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, which looks better? Do we have anything? Well, no, Tuesday. No, Tom doesn't have treatment next week then, right? No. I think I'd probably rather knock it out Tuesday, honestly.
So do you want me to give him the choice or just tell him Tuesday first?
Oh, he actually put any day except Tuesday. I'm not kidding. So tell him Wednesday. He literally says any day but Tuesday.
Hand me your little plastic thing there. I'll take it.
We might be writing contracts up after the show, depending on what Miles thinks about that. So just keep that in mind. What'd you think of that house?
It was very pretty. It's just really pretty. Very nice.
And then Curtis just...
it's a lot of house.
It's beautiful. It's almost 3,000 square feet.
Did Curtis respond to you about me or...
No, he said, I asked him, when are we starting my driveway? He wants to know if I have any dates. Let me ask him again how many days. Maybe this weekend.
Well,
I can't wait to get it done.
I know he can start it. I don't know how much you want to tax on Connie, keeping the dogs off of that stuff and whatever. I don't know. Just keep that in mind that Connie has the dogs Saturday night.
Yeah. I wonder if we could, because we're not going to be able to get in and out of the driveway. We're just going to we'll just have to park.
Up top.
Up top. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah. I don't know if we should be asking Connie, hey, you got to park up top, if the guy can even start this weekend. But whatever. That's your call. Why don't you see if he can just do it next week?
Well, I'm seeing how many. I'm going to see how many days it is. 2 to 2.5 days. And then,
okay.
But then you can't drive on it for 5 days. We're replacing the upper part of our driveway and expanding the hell out of it. I'm sick of I got a 45-foot bus I back into a garage, and I end up in the rocks every time just because of the damn size of it. So if I expand it just where I want, it's perfect. I can almost do a straight shot. And she doesn't want to kill me when we're done.
Parking that bus is a true test of our marriage every time. It is like stressful.
I think you'll just let Suze park it.
She won't even drive it down a highway.
I will for sure hit the house if you put me behind the wheel trying to park that thing. No doubt in my mind.
Maybe we get up to Grand Junction. I'm seeing the earliest he can start. Well, the problem with that is I don't know what's going to be happening. I might have to fly out to Shattern.
Have to fly out.
But that would be great. We grab the dogs, and then we head up to somewhere, and I just think that to go see Addie.
Well, Addie, just so you know, is in town, not this weekend, but next weekend, looking at apartments.
Okay.
So if that helps you.
I can't believe it. We're going to have both kids in their own, well, one in a house and well, he's been on his own for years. But the other one is off the nipple.
She hasn't charged anything to my
card. Now they're both yours.
Is she working or just studying?
Studying.
Oh, purely studying for the bar. She can't work. It's just basically class after
It's
class.
8 hours a day of studying.
Really?
It's all memorization. In fact, that's exactly what John Fuller said. He goes, you memorize and you take all these workshops that basically ask you the same question in different ways 1,000,000 times.
Yeah. Girl Friday, I have not made the chili yet between all of our traveling. I will probably wait because your chilies are in my freezer. I will probably wait till it cools down a little bit from the summer to actually make it. But we'll see. I will definitely let you know as soon as I do. I'll probably text you in the middle of it with questions. That Girl Friday, she's a sweetheart. Her sister's a sweetie too.
Are they the ones we met at?
The Candy girls that we took out for a beer.
Yeah.
The Candy sisters.
You know, Target is just, I don't even know how Target exists.
Sometimes I go in there and go, what the hell am I doing in this store? Other times it's fantastic.
Their stock sucks.
They look like they're clothing Little House on the Prairie characters right now. I am like,
Welcome, my friends, to the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, try to make your life just a little bit better. If you've been ripped off or taken advantage of, we want to hear from you, and I mean that. We are here to help you recoup money. In fact, we've done over $300 million cash merchandise, exchanges, refunds, services. I think you get the idea. Directly due to the show, of course, we don't charge anything. I've got deputies standing by. If you got a problem, 303, I got 3 lines open, 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. I got Deputy Doc Suzanne's in studio with me. And then we have Dr. Joel Cherdak we're going to be talking to about neuropathy and different things that Denver Regen does. Shannon, of course, operating the board over there, and Kelly answering your calls. 303-713-8255. Kelly, Will called in. I'm going to recap real quick. I saw you on the phone over there. Will called in and said, hey, I went down to Go Cat Speed Shop. And their website, by the way, is GoCatspeedShop.com. And I gave the guy $7,500 for an engine, a flathead engine, and it was the wrong color, so he was going to paint it for me. Before he got it finished painting it, or before he started, he called me up and basically said, hey, I can sell this to somebody else and rebuild you an even better one. And Will, the caller, actually agreed to that. And here's the kicker. That was in 2018. Think about that. That was in 2018. Here we are 7-8 years later, and this guy still doesn't have an engine. The last time Will talked to him or communicated was in January, and the guy said, hey, I'll have it to you by March, or I'll give you your money in June. Is that all correct, Will?
Yep.
So, Kelly, you called over. Who did you call? Who is the owner? Eric Brown. Did Eric Brown pick up the phone? Is that just his cell phone number, Will? Is there another number he might answer?
That's the only number that I've found for him.
Is it that 720-284-1790?
Yep.
That's it. That's the only one we have. That's the one on his website, too. You know, this is crazy. So you can't even leave a message, right, Kelly? So mailbox is full. Listen, people think, oh, Mark, this might be a little premature. Why are you giving this guy free advertising? I'll tell you why I'm going to give GoCat Speed Shop free advertising. Because this was in 2018. This guy gave him $7,500. $7,500 according to Will. And here we are 7+ years later, and you have nothing, right, Will? Nothing at all.
Bad taste in my mouth.
Well, yeah, a bad taste in your mouth and your bank account $7,500 later.
Hey, Will, have you gone down there in person?
You know, I've been up there a couple times, but not in a few years.
What's the shop look like? Is it a hellhole? Is it a nice-looking place? Do you think this guy's got a pot to piss on? You think he's got any assets if you got a judgment?
You know, judging from what was in his shop at the time, he's got a bunch of parts that have value, but I don't think he's got anything. The shop has been like it's kind of a warehouse type setup over on South.
What's the guy's name again? Give me the guy's name. Eric what?
Brown.
Eric Brown, and he's the owner, as far as you know, of GoCat Speed Shop.
Why don't you go down and tell him that you talked to us, and that if he doesn't answer, he's going to get a lot of negative publicity and maybe put on the sleeve.
He's getting it right now because, I mean, Sleaze Brigade will be next step. And if you're new to the show, go visit Sleaze Brigade. I'm going to tell you something about it. It is one of the most powerful tools I've ever seen out there. You know, there was one guy that if you even came close to Googling his name or his roofing company, Sleaze Brigade was the first thing that would pop up. And sure enough, it basically ruined the guy's life. And this guy, Will, I don't care. I have never heard of so many excuses. Will, you said this guy has had, what's the weirdest excuse he's given you? I'm sick. And I'm sure during COVID, it was probably everything he was sick. But what else has he told you over the last 7 years?
His mom was sick, and the whole thing with parts, machine shops not being able to get good blocks, and had finish his buddy's dragster. And
hey, do me a favor, Kelly. Well, she's on the line there. Hold on, Will. I just want to check in on something before I have our listeners help you and myself out trying to get in touch with Eric Brown, the apparent owner of GoCat Speed Shop. And I'm taking this, and everything I say at this point, I want you to understand is my opinion. This is definitely my opinion. Why do I say that? Because I'm not positive this guy's a scumbag, sucking, fleabag piece of crap. I'm not positive about that. That is what I call an opinion. $7,500 over a 7+ year period is absolutely ridiculous. And I can't imagine what excuse he possibly has now. It was supposed to be done March of this year was the last promised date, or he was going to pay the money back. Where's the guy's money at? You can't even leave him a message. We did try to reach out to Eric Brown at GoCat Speed Shop. This is absolutely crazy. And Will, you must have the patience of a saint, because I could have never dealt with this for 7 years. I mean, I would probably be camped out at his shop. In fact, I'm wondering if we get Deputy Dimitri or Bo or someone to go down and talk to him at his shop and figure out what's really going on down there.
Yeah, I live a few hours away, so it's not like...
Where do you live? What do you mean you live a few hours away?
I live out in Brush in northeast Colorado.
Okay, I get it. You truly do live a few hours away. You know what? Maybe we roll by this place and see what's going on down there. I mean, that might be the way to go. That might seriously be the way to go. What is that phone number, Kelly? What is it? $720. Okay, folks, listen. Eric Brown, he's the apparent owner of GoCat Speed Shop. 720-284-1790. Listen, I do this for a couple reasons. Number one, we can't even leave him a message. I don't even know if the guy will answer the phone. I don't know if he'll talk with us. He's been putting Will off for over 7 years. That's why I'm doing it. Don't be crude. Don't say anything that you wouldn't say to your mother. How's that? Be nice about it. Say, when are you going to give Will his money? Or when are you going to give him this engine? What is going on with it? I would assume, I would guess, that this guy doesn't have the money to give him, or he possibly would have given it back in the last 7 years, for God's sake. 303-713-8255. I want to check one more thing on this, so Kelly. Get either Jeff Vick or get Kevin on with Sheridan Autotech. I want to ask them a question about a flathead engine. 303-713-8255. I've got a couple lines open. 303 Martino. Hold on. Red Rocks Roof and Solar. I love what Brooke does. Over 35 years of combined experience at Red Rocks Roof and Solar. They can do everything when it comes to solar. Off-grid systems, batteries they can add to existing. They can do new commercial projects. They can do residential. They can find all that grant money, whatever's out there for some of the commercial stuff as well. And, of course, all the tax credits. They can fix old systems, and they do everything in-house. The installation, the service, the sales, it's all Brooke. 303-704-2449. Give Brooke and her team a call. Check them out at Red Rocks RS, as in roofandsolar.com. RedRocksRS.com. Fix it 24/7. Free second opinions. You're going to absolutely love these guys. Here's what they do. If you have a estimate right now on a air conditioning system or a furnace or a water heater, these guys will give you a free second opinion. No questions asked. And trust me, prices can go from anywhere from $3,000 to $15,000 on a new air conditioner. It is well worth getting a free second opinion. Check them out at fixmyhome.com. That's fixmyhome.com. Vestera Investments. You want to be a landlord but know nothing about it? Barry Miller and the gang will do everything for you. They'll find the right property. They'll get it managed for you the right way. Make sure you get that cash flow. Then, as it appreciates, because they found the right property, you sell it and you make the big bucks. We have listeners that are making over 40-50% yearly returns. VesteraTurnkey.com. VesteraTurnkey.com.
Mark, we've got a call on him last year. Tom put Sleaze Brigade as the answer to him, but I don't see that Tom ever put him on the Sleaze Brigade.
Who said that?
Well, Shannon said, hey, we got a call saying they've been talked about on the show before, so I searched the archives. Sure enough, April 30th, 2024. A guy named Joe calls in from Southern California, has been paying Eric at Go Cat Speed Shop since 2021, paid in full 2023, paid a total of $11,000 for nothing. He demanded a refund, and Joe got $1,000
All right, I'm going to
back.
have you recap all
Several
that.
people have been ripped off by Eric Brown.
Hey, what's your first name and what's your question? Hello? What's your first name and what's your question? All right, I'll double check it. Thanks, man.
What do you say?
I have a question. Raise your
Hold on.
hand if you're surprised that the guy who threw the Molotov cocktail was an illegal immigrant who's already been deported once.
What did the guy say, Mark, on the
Does that
phone?
surprise you? No.
I don't know what number Kelly gave me. She's just... Kelly, I have no idea what number you gave me.
284-1790 is what she gave you for Eric.
Got it.
Why?
I see it.
Is it a bad number?
No.
Oh.
Well, this guy said it was. I might have got a digit wrong.
Well, I typed in the same thing and that I heard her.
284-1790, right? Yeah. That's definitely the number you called, right? And it doesn't say disconnected.
She might want to verify with Will that it's the right number.
Okay. Verify with Will if it's the right number.
Nope, he never did put him on the Sleaze Brigade, but that's where he ended it. Jeff Jolliffe's still hanging in there on the Sleaze Brigade.
Oh, he's a
lifer.
That dude, man, he just moves around ripping people off. Do we still have that same guy's info?
What guy? The caller?
The one you were talking about.
I just have his first name. I don't know if Kelly would have anything from April 30th, 2024.
Big celebrity death, Brian Wilson, Beach Boys.
Hey, Doc, do you do...
really?
Yep.
Do you do feedback to companies when they ask you?
Do feedback to companies?
Hey,
Yeah,
what's
surveys.
your last name?
Sometimes. Occasionally. Not
I try to.
Depends.
All right.
Completely depends on who it is.
All right, 303-713-8255. I think I gave the wrong number out. Listen, Eric Brown, Go Cat Speed Shop, and Suzanne found something very interesting. And hold on one second, because I do have one of our experts on, Kevin Calkin, Sheridan Auto Tech. Kevin, I just want to ask you something. These flathead engines by Ford, I mean, when you send them out to a machine shop, I mean, these aren't brain surgery. You can go buy one and get it done, right?
Well, yeah, and there's really not much in the head. You know what I mean? A flathead, the valves and everything are in the block.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is how hard is it to get one rebuilt? If I wanted to go out and find one, is it hard to find one and get it rebuilt right now? Or are they like impossible to find? I don't understand.
Oh, no, they're all over.
They're abundant.
Again, being rebuilt, they're basically just a cover. There's nothing to rebuild.
Wow. Why did they go away, by the way? Just old technology, right?
Old technology, yeah. I mean, like I said, the block holds the valves and the piston.
That's incredible.
The flathead itself just holds the spark plugs and covers the cylinders.
Yeah, I was looking at a picture. They're kind of strange. So if I said, hey, Kevin, go find me one, you probably call me back in an hour and have one.
Oh, sure.
See, this is remarkable. I just wanted to make sure. Kevin, I appreciate that. By the way, Kevin Calkins, Sheridan Auto Tech, he works on our cars. He's a great guy. He can do anything you need done, from oil changes to engine replacements, electrical system problems, alignments, cooling system flushes, air conditioning services. I think you get the idea. They'll save you a ton of money. Oh, and they've got a great warranty as well. 3-year, 36,000 miles. Now, Will, I'm going to bring you back up. I'm going to put this guy on the Sleaze Brigade. I'm going to get with Martino after the show. And I'm going to tell you why. Even though we haven't heard back from this guy yet, Eric Brown. Suzanne, tell me what you found.
Yeah, so in searching our call archives, I realized, thanks to Shannon, thank you, that we'd gotten a call on Eric Brown at Go Cat Speed Shop back last April of 2024 from a gentleman named Joe from Southern California. He'd been paying Eric since 2021, got him paid in full January of 2023. That's $11,500 and received nothing. So fast forward to 2024. He demanded a refund, and Joe the caller did get back $1,000.
He got back $1,000 out of how much?
It looks like out of $11,500 from Tommy's notes.
He got $1,000 back and paid the guy $11,000, and he got nothing according to the notes. Do we have that guy's number?
If Kelly has notes from April of 2024, we might have.
I doubt it. Kelly, you wouldn't have that, would you?
I wouldn't keep notes that long.
I wouldn't.
I don't think so.
I wish I could. Will, there's another guy. I mean, he got $1,000 back. I'm going to get with Tom, and I think we got to put this guy on the Sleaze Brigade. But honestly, Will, make sure we have all your information. And Suzanne, make sure we update this guy. Will, I want you to hold on, man, because Kelly's going to get all your info. I think we're going to head down there. I might do a live in front of his shop.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I haven't done that for a while. I might go down there and do a live in front of his shop and see what's going on with this guy. This is it's just not right. So, Will, hold on. Then I think we're going to get him up on Sleaze Brigade. But listeners, I would love your help here. I think I gave the number out wrong. Eric Brown, Go Cat Speed Shop.
Okay. What's your name?
720-284-1790. Please be nice to him. I'm not kidding. Be nice and say, hey, this guy gave you $7,500 in 2018. Where's his money back? You said you were going to have his engine done by March after 7 years. What is going on? Ask him. Say, Eric Brown, what is going on at Go Cat Speed Shop? We just heard you about on the radio. They tried to reach out to you, but they can't because your voicemail's full. And we heard you had other people, like who was it? Bob?
Joe
in California that you took $11,000 from and only refunded him $1,000. It's absolutely insane. Eric Brown, GoCatSpeedShop.com. They're right here somewhere in Inglewood, and I'm going to figure out something and get down there and try to meet this Eric Brown. 720-284-1790. 720. Be nice. Call him up. We already know you can't leave a message, but hopefully if his phone's ringing a lot, he'll answer it. And I do this as a service to Eric, too. And you know what? I would love to hear his side of the story, but in my opinion, if everything Will is saying correct, or even most of it for Christ's sake, my God, even if most of it, $7,500, and he hasn't gotten anything in over 7 years, Eric, what can you possibly say about that? And he's got text. In fact, one more question for Will. Prior to that last text that you wrote, what was the one before that? Not the one this year in January, but what was the one before that, Will?
Well, let me pull it up and I'll tell you. And I can share this all with you if you want.
I do want you to share them. I do want you to share them. Kelly will give you an email to send them to, and I would like you to share them. Do they go back to that 2018?
I got a different phone, so I think I go back as far as 2019.
Okay, 2019. I mean, this is so absurd. I can't believe we're thinking of these dates. I can't believe this guy. And you heard that other one we had, but what was not the very last one this year, right before that? When was it?
That was back in November 4th.
And what was that conversation like? November 4th with Eric Brown of Go Cat Speed Shop.
Basically, he's broke, can't afford anything.
So he's broke and can't afford anything. Well, don't say basically. What does it literally say?
Let me just read it to you. I asked him about my engine. He said, no, it's more complicated. It'll get you an engine before the end of the year, hopefully by Thanksgiving. We're close to being on the street because of this economy. I'm now in a Peter and Paul situation. I can't even pay my bills for this month next. I have a balance coming up on another block plus another project soon, but right now it's really bad. The pistons on that block are very domed. Every set of heads I've tried hits. Tried to find someone with a special cutter or just assemble the next block for you, which is what I'll probably have to do. I don't want to be anybody's enemy. I honestly want to get backlog cleaned up and and other guys showing.
That's fine. You don't have to read it. It's just one thing after another. I love how he actually admits he's robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know what? There is a Contractors Trust Act, and that would extend, in my opinion, it's not a legal opinion, to a shop and to your position. You put $7,500 down. That is for your job and your job only. And he is admitting right there he is using your money or has used your money for someone else's thing. And you're not allowed to do that. I think we also need to reach out to the DA. I want to get Dimitri on this. Dimitri, if you're listening, I want you to reach out to the district attorney wherever this Go Cat Speed Shop is, and I'm going to have all the text, but this guy just acknowledged, in my opinion, that he's a thief. That's right. When you steal from somebody to pay somebody else, you are a thief, in my opinion. Eric Brown, I believe you're a thief. That's my opinion. Of Go Cat Speed Shop, 720-284-1790. Please be nice when you reach out to him. I am not kidding. This is absolutely ridiculous, and it's not the first time. We have had the same guy with same issues. Joseph, you're up after this. I'm going to take my blood pressure meds.
I was going to ask you that, Mark. We should ask one of our attorneys if the Contractors Trust Act.
Okay, well, we're going to.
Yeah, if you pay for a job, he was paying for a rebuild engine.
But he's not a contractor.
And
I'm just trying,
I think he is a contractor, technically.
Well, that's what we'd love to ask one of our attorneys that.
And what is the best number to reach you at?
You need help, Mark? Are you good?
I got to see who I got.
K&H.
Easy cheesy.
Easy breezy.
Yeah, what's your cell? You kind of broke up a little bit on the first 970. What was the number?
What?
Okay, that's 970-531-8510.
KH Home Solutions. You realize these guys have been around. Listen to this date. It's crazy. 1956. Man, that's impressive. In fact, the newest owner, Lee Diamond, great guy, him and his son are at the helm now. But they have windows and siding and doors and sliding doors. They have it all. In fact, they even have Alpin Windows, which is a window built right here in Colorado for homes in Colorado. And it doesn't matter if you have a fix and flip or if you have a $10 million house, KH Home Solutions is going to have something for you. If you're looking at any of those products, you're crazy not to get a bid from them. You're going to be happy, and you're going to have something to compare, and you're going to love their product lines. 303-421-7100, 303-421-7100, or khwindows.com. It's so like, Doc, I'm just curious. In your mind, when does a guy like who we're talking about, Eric Brown, if everything is what Will says, plus you heard the other one we had on him, same thing. I mean, there's really no difference. At what point are you a horrible business person and simply just spend money you don't have, or you're a thief? In your mind, where is that line? Just out of curiosity.
Well, it sounds like it's still ongoing. Like eventually, if you just aren't managing the money, your business is going to fall apart. So, you're not going to, if you're doing this and there's like more than 1 year of time elapsed and you're doing it again, like you're a thief, because otherwise your business would collapse.
To me, $7,500 over that stretch of time is absolutely a thief. That's my opinion.
Snip Cod, whatever that is, Snip COD. It's beautiful inside. Like, I'm glad they didn't leave it a dive talking about the Stagecoach.
Oh, yeah.
To our YouTubies. It's beautiful. They've done such a nice job. And now I know what an OMC is. That's an outlaw motorcycle club, Dr. Joel. They are not allowed. It's a biker bar near us. And they've reopened. The owner died a couple years ago. They're reopening this Thursday. They've remodeled, made it gorgeous. They're not allowing motorcycle clubs anymore. All the good old honky tonks are getting replaced. What are we, in the 80s?
That place was a total shithole.
It was a dump, but the food was good.
The food was
good. Beer was mediocre. We went for the pizza. Mark loved their pizza, and their green chili's pretty good.
That was probably one of my favorite pizzas, actually.
Mm-hmm. No, I think Mikey's dealing with a real headache on Mikey might be listening, I'm not sure. I think he's dealing with a real headache on my PC. So maybe I'm overthinking it.
Is that the one at our house?
It's my laptop, and my OneDrive is all wonky with all of our files. So it's like...
With all of our what?
Files.
Well, I did make a copy, but...
Of everything, or just...
I don't know if everything.
You don't know. I'm going to tell Mikey.
I know I did of the contracts. What I'm more worried about is like operating agreements for the different businesses.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I want. The contracts for like referral lists and stuff, I'm not... I know I have those. What I'm worried about is operating agreements for
I know our
5 different companies.
Well, I will say this, because of recent stuff, all of those operating agreements are in my emails.
Okay.
Oh, Jeff can't make it this Friday. Okay. Okay. All right.
I knew there was no BS there when it came to that flathead. I started thinking maybe it's hard to get parts, but even so, 7 years, forget it.
Miles just Snapchatted me. Let's see what anytime.
He caught a fish.
He did. Look.
He catches fish like constantly.
Our son is loving the fishing life in Nebraska. It's
There's
so
like
good for
there's
him.
nothing else to do in these towns.
Like until football season starts, there's nothing.
All right, 303-713-8255. JR from The Road has a comment on Cat Speed Shop. Go ahead.
Hey, Mark, if you recall that phone call in November or whatever of last year, the guy that called you said that he met this guy at all the hot rod shows. So as far as assets, this guy shows up with his own hot rods, his flathead V8s built out. So he does have assets, but that guy said he's like off of 5400 South Santa Fe.
Yeah, I think I'm going to head over there.
Santa Fe?
Yeah. I'm going to shoot over there during the show so we can do something live. I don't know what day yet. I got to kind of get that worked out.
Yeah,
but
he's a flathead guru. You know, he's
I got you.
Flathead. But the thing is, he meets all his victims, and I'm calling them victims.
Yeah.
He meets them all at the car shows, and the car shows are starting to come up.
You know what's interesting, though?
Last caller had met him at the Good Guys.
Just that text that he wrote to Will, saying I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. I mean, literally, he called himself a thief. Like he legitimately called himself a thief. And I agree with him. Hey, JR, I appreciate it, man. 303-713-8255. We got one line open. Hey, Joseph, what's going on, man? How are you, Joseph?
Hey, Mark. So I know yesterday Tom had a guy on talking about reverse mortgages, but my question was, is there such a thing for a reverse mortgage on a farm?
On a farm?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. That's a very interesting question. Hold on a second.
So it has.
Go ahead.
Hang on a second, Mark. So the house is on the farm, and it's considered when I pay the taxes, it's the whole thing. So it's not segregated. It's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of asked that, but I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going to bring up John Clays. Hey, John, I love the question the guy's got. I never thought about it, nor did I ever think a farm. I guess if it's agricultural, it could be different, but if it's just a big farm with a house, but it's all the same, can you get a reverse mortgage on that? What do you know about that, John?
Well, the big thing is going to be, is it a producing farm? Is it income-producing property?
Yeah.
That's the big thing there. So
it is.
Income-producing properties, no, you're not going to be able to get a reverse mortgage on that. If it's a farm and it's not producing income and there are like properties around it, yes, you could. But when it's a income-producing, they treat that as a commercial property.
Hey, let me ask you something, John. How about the all-in-one?
Same thing. Now, whenever you get a income-producing property,
it's commercial.
It goes into the commercial side of things.
So, what are Hey, Joseph? Why are you trying to get cash out, a better interest rate? What are you trying to do with it? What's your circumstance?
It's paid for. And I'm 67, and just kind of want to, and I don't have any siblings. I mean, not siblings. I'm sorry. I don't have any
kids.
Heirs. Yeah, kids. I don't have any kids. Just me and my wife. So I had just thought, well, instead of selling it.
Joseph, a couple questions. The income production, how much does it produce in a year, out of curiosity?
It depends on the year. Every year's different, but 100,000, give or take.
Well, with that kind of income coming in, why do you need the equity from the reverse? I'm trying to kind of understand that.
I don't need it. I don't need it, but I was just thinking that maybe we could do some more, enjoy life a little better.
I got it. Just a little more income.
That 100,000 mark is not profit. That's gross.
Oh, well, that's profit. What I was asking. How much profit?
Okay, profit, 10.
Okay, now let me ask you this, Greg. I don't know how much of a headache it is to create that $10,000 a year in profit. But if it's quite a bit of a headache, there's a lot other ways to create $10,000 a year. And John, the reason I'm asking them these questions, if it wasn't income producing, would they be able to do a reverse mortgage on it, or you still would have to run some numbers, or what?
Yeah, still run some numbers, like how big, how many acres are we talking?
Yeah, how big is it? Describe the property, Joseph.
Yeah, it's a few hundred acres.
Wow.
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
What's it worth?
Yeah.
$10 million.
$10 million. How does this guy tap in to that kind of equity so him and his wife can go enjoy their 60s? John, think outside the box. How do you, with the, and I assume you don't want to sell it, right?
No, I don't want to sell it. No.
Would you care about shutting down the farm part of it?
Not really. I mean, well, the other thing too, is there an interest rate on a reverse mortgage?
Well, of course there is, but I mean, I don't even want to get into that because right now there's it just doesn't even matter. So, John, I'm going to go back and pick your brain, and anybody out there listening, this guy's got something worth $10 million. Where is the property?
It's in Weld County.
He's got, how much, what do you say, 200 acres?
I mean, a few hundred acres, yeah.
So you have all this acreage.
Start parceling it off probably and get some large chunks of some. Don't you think? You might know a little bit more about that than I do, Mark. But
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But not if he's operating it as a farm. I don't know how much of it. Could you subdivide and actually, if you wanted to, could you actually subdivide and build a neighborhood? Would they be able to switch it from agricultural to where you could put up a home, for example, or even commercial property with that kind of space? I don't know if you've looked into any of those ideas.
Yeah, it's a process, right?
Of course.
I mean, it's a big process.
Well, it definitely is.
What about water? You got water rights on that property? I mean, that's another way to generate some income. If you have it.
Yeah, true. No,
do you have water rights?
No. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of production builders. They would do all the work for you, man. You'd put it under contract, and they would do all the zoning, all that for you, and you get paid on when they perform. But there's a lot of production builders that would do that.
No, I get it. I mean, there's and I've been approached by several that I've just turned down.
What's your hesitation on going a route like that, Joseph?
Well, I just don't want to, because then I've had the farm for years and years and years, and I don't want to sell it.
But what are you going to do when you guys pass? I mean, what's your plan for it?
Well, if you're on it depends on if you're on my good side or not.
Well, listen, man, here's what I'm trying to figure out from you. Like, if you could somehow subdivide it and other people are going to take care of all this, but you keep 20 acres and the house you want to live in, I mean, is that something you would want to think about?
Yeah, I have. Yep, we have. We've also thought about moving. The state has changed a lot. So we've thought about that too.
Well, let's do this. I'm going to put you on hold, man. John, I'm going to keep you up, but, Joseph, I want you to give your info to Kelly. I want to talk to Martino about this. The guy's only developed. How many neighborhoods he developed, Suzanne? I mean, hell, you.
Oh, God, dozens and dozens, Mark, over the years.
Yeah, I mean, dozens and dozens.
Versed in that.
And they don't have to be something like Highlands Ranch. I mean, you can do 30-acre parcels where all the homes are nice. Joseph, there's so many different things, but I think what we do, because Tom has literally done this, he's done it in Florida. He's done it everywhere. I mean, he's going to know, the ins and outs of this. And let's spark up that conversation. So, Kelly, do me a favor and get his information if Joseph wants to share it. And maybe we reach out and see if we can't figure something out for him. And if anybody out there knows, John, real quick, a commercial lending prospect, what do you think? Is there a commercial product that you know of where he could tap into some of that money, some of that equity? He's got $10 million. He doesn't owe a penny. There's got to be a way to get something.
Sure there is, but his issue now is, he doesn't really, he just kind of wants the money once that. Realistically, I think this is right up Tom's alley, and if he parcels it off, wants some money, that's the best. Sure, commercial lender will probably do him something, but then, how are they going to get paid back? That type of thing is because he's really no income coming in, so he almost has to sell some of the property and not just. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're saying. It's so interesting, though. I think you're right. You take a big chunk of it, whatever, 100 acres, and maybe make a deal just on that and have a developer come in, and basically that's going to be your money. That's going to be your retirement money, and you still own the house and you still own the farm. But once again, with no heirs, I'm not even sure what he wants to do there. But John Clace, in fact, John's actually working for my son right now, getting him a loan in Nebraska. Yeah, I said Nebraska. These guys at CMG, they are the lender. There's no middleman. They lend in every single state in the country. In fact, John, what was funny is you weren't licensed in Nebraska, but when I reached out to you for the loan for my son, you got yourself licensed like in a matter of a day or two, because you guys are already, of course, in Nebraska. You just had to get a temporary or whatever. But the best interest rates at all-in-one reverse mortgages, these guys can save you a fortune. Any questions? If you have been engaged with another lender and want to see if these guys can beat it, you're going to be very pleasantly surprised. Check out John at partnerinlending.com, partnerinlending.com, or 303-577-7206. Dimitri's got an update on Go Cat Speed Shop. Dimitri, that might be the fastest update I've ever heard of. We'll take that after this. And then Greg is the owner of Diamond G Concrete, and we've got a follow-up from yesterday. Everybody hold on. Look up that call for me. I don't remember.
I already
that
got
call.
it up for you.
It's
from yesterday.
I just don't remember hearing it.
Oh, well, it's there.
What are we at? 45. Discount math. A bathroom-only company, you know what I'm talking about, discountbath.com. They can do just a tub-to-shower conversion, or they can do a complete bathroom remodel, a partial bathroom remodel. They can do a steam shower. They have these porcelain walls that are absolutely beautiful, very low maintenance. In fact, little grout, if any. Upfront, transparent pricing. In fact, you can go to discountbath.com and email Chris a video, just a video of your bathroom, just walking around saying, yeah, I might want to redo this shower, get a bigger closet, or whatever you want done. Or maybe, like I said, just a tub to shower conversion. They can give you a price right over the phone. They can come out and go over the whole thing with you. They can go over different ideas, talk different pricing. They can do fix and flips. They do bathrooms for $1 million homes. These guys do it all, and they do it at a discount price. Discountbath.com. Discountbath.com. In fact, they have a special right now, a full bathroom. Listen to this. A full shower redone for under $10,000. No one else has prices like that. Discountbath.com. Tell me about the concrete call.
Okay, so it came in, looks like yesterday. Says Bob got 5 bids for concrete work, removing and replacing a sidewalk, adding slabs around 1,000 square feet. They all wanted 50% up front, about $6,000. There was an existing tree root system that needed to be removed, but the contractor did not give him time to remove it. At the end of May, he walked off the job.
Okay.
So now the contractor's calling in.
Well, let's see if we can't get the caller back up.
Hey, Kelly, do you have Bob's information for that call? I can't hear you, girl. She's hitting.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, do you have Bob's information from the Diamond Concrete call yesterday?
Yes, I do.
Will you see if Bob can come on? Just tell him that the owners called in for an update.
Yep.
Thank you. Did you see the Beach Boy Brian Wilson guy?
Hey, Bob.
No.
Today.
This is Kelly over at the Tom Martino Troubleshooter Show. It's going well, thank you. We actually have Greg Martinez on the phone from Diamond G Concrete, and we wanted to bring you back since he's going to basically give his side of the story. Greg Martinez is on the line from Diamond G Concrete, and we contacted him in order to get, his side of the story, basically. So he's on with us right now. We wanted to bring you back. Okay, hold on for me. Was it?
We're very clear. What the hell?
Les Miserables.
From yesterday. Bell and Pollock.
Here,
What's up?
I might ask you about some of that.
What is it?
Dimitri, that's about the Go Cat Speed Shop. Those are a ton of complaints. I'm probably going to want you to read some of those. And then, Doc, we're going to hit you coming out of the gate. I'm just going to randomly pick up one of these texts. This guy sent me 1 million texts from that Eric guy. Like I said before, I want to see a date on this. I don't see a date on this. Like I said before, if you do the work, just return the money. All right, 303-713-8255. I've been going through these texts with this speed shop, and I'm going to read some of them. Plus, we found a lot more information out about these guys. Listen, after the break, just because of time, we had a call yesterday. Bob had a problem with a concrete company, and the owner of the company called in with his side of the story, and I can't wait to get to that. We love when business owners call in. We have found out over the years there's always two sides, but Greg Martinez, and the caller's name was Bob. You guys, we only got 2 minutes now, so I'm going to bring you both up right after the news break. So you guys, please hold on. In the interim, Deputy Dimitri Update on Cat Speed Shop. Wow, man, you dug into that quick. What's shaking, Bacon?
Hey, Mark, I was driving to my next business meeting, and I heard you mention my name, so I called GoCat. I just recently got off the phone with Eric. He's the owner of it.
Yeah, Eric Brown, GoCat Speed Shop.
Yeah, so hey, here's what we've decided. Basically, the proposal I have for him is, hey, I'm not going to point the finger at you. I just want to broker a mutual way for you and Will so that he can either get his engine or get his money back. And you guys will be done with each other. So Eric is in the middle of all kinds of problems right now, and I won't get into them right now. But what we agreed is going to happen is this. He's going to think about how to take care of the customer. And he's going to call me either today or tomorrow morning before the show starts at 10 with his proposal.
Hey, Dimitri, I love it, but I don't know how much of the story you heard, but in October, he was going to pay the guy back by December. In January, he was going to have the engine done by March, or he was going to give the guy his money back. Then, let's not forget, this started in 2018, and I am now staring at a chain of promises, just like he just told you, over a 7-year period.
Yeah, I heard the whole story, and I agree with everything you just said. And I did not rub his nose in any of it.
Okay.
I said, look, this is going to be kind of a fresh start to solving this problem. Let's just pretend it just started
So you think you're going to hear from him by tomorrow?
There's a good chance. Why not? I mean, what?
No. I'm saying that's what he told you, though. He said tomorrow.
Yeah, today. He said it might be today. It might be tomorrow.
All right, hold on, man. I got to go to this break. Dimitri, good job getting in touch with the guy. Hopefully he comes through. Greg and Bob, hold tight. You're up next on the Troubleshooter Show.
How did he get in touch with him?
He called.
What?
He called.
But has everybody been calling and he...
I'm sure that's why he finally started answering.
Somehow D got a hold of him.
These texts are like amazing. This guy's been promising this shit forever.
Yes, MR, I saw that Costco is opening back up for exec members. I'm excited. You know, Costco quit the 9 a.m. opening for exec members. They're changing back to it June 30th.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so...
I wonder, what was it, a COVID change?
I don't know why they did it to begin with, but you know how often we get up and go to Costco at 9 a.m.
Yeah, this guy's crazy.
Ooh.
You've had it quite a while now. It's been paid for. I'm sure you're busy, but let's get it done. And he goes, this guy Eric answers, quit telling guys like Fat Mike, whoever that is, I'm taking forever. That POS is going to get decked the next time he runs his mouth. I have an excellent track record. Not according to our records. I have been through several blocks at DNR pinned and did not pressure test. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, everything is an excuse. It's coming. Lot going on this month. In mid-July, tops run tested. Just got my buddy Justin's done. Polishing took forever. Custom cam. And he sends him a picture of it. That's over a year ago. Where's my engine? This guy rapping on this Cooper one. So this guy, to rub salt into a wound, this guy, every time he asks, where's my engine, he sends him a picture of somebody else's engine. Like I said before, if you can't do the work, just return the money. It's not that hard to figure out. Looks like you have gotten in quite a few done from the pictures you sent. And here's where he puts it. This Eric guy literally puts it like this. Money is spent on your block. Jesus. Everyone gets all stompy. Feed on me like children. I'm sick of it all. I don't want to do this anymore. What the fudge? I'm always getting kicked while I'm down. Instead of a cat, what the hell's that mean? Instead of a cat on the back. Oh my God, this guy. Oh my God. He literally just, I mean, he's just full of shit.
Full of poo.
In my opinion, this guy is just totally full of shit.
They should threaten him with the Contractors Trust Act.
You can't do the Contractors Trust Act on an auto guy.
I think you can.
Well, I
thought they had their own automotive. There's own automotive.
No, but
laws.
this is an engine rebuilder. This is a little different.
Suze, I suggested we ask one of our attorneys.
We don't have one that would know that, Doc. I don't know who we would possibly ask. Bugging me doesn't help either.
What about Rhea?
I don't know if Rhea would know. I have no
Raina?
idea. We almost never.
I wonder if we should call Raina.
Do we ever hear back from her?
I can text her.
Text her.
Say, Raina, you got time for a call.
Tell her it's a very basic call. Oh my God, this guy. I mean, really, there's 5-6 years worth of text here. It's just constant. You want my address so you can send my money back? I'd like to come get my parts. When can we meet? You going to answer me or just keep ignoring me? You busy finishing my engine? The guy doesn't reply, so he goes, you must be working on my engine. It's only been 5 years. Oh, my God. Well, it's June. I don't have an engine, and I don't have money. Like you said, you're not answering my texts or calls. You want to figure this out? You're going to build my engine or just steal my money? At least let me know. Jeez.
You see that Brian Wilson passed away, Suze?
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
No, I'll get you a nice flathead by March or get you paid back by June. I've had a rough few months. I've been sick 3 times in a row since December, and I'm just getting caught up. It's been 8 years. Just let me get my stuff done. I don't want to elaborate or bore you with the shit that's going on since November. Don't want to make enemies with anyone. Hoping you had a good, fun summer and seeing you enjoy your truck with a nice, well-built flathead. Oh, my God. And the guy says, bullshit, you put me off every time I ask. You have given me every excuse in the world you can think of for literally years. I'm done. It's time to come get my stuff. I bet he sold the guy's stuff, too. Holy schmolies. Doc, I promise we'll get in some good segments.
Case, I think that gentleman died.
Who?
They were asking, they heard us talk about Raina, and remember Raina came in with that gentleman?
Oh, it's horrible.
I'm pretty sure he passed away
This is the guy who
a
wanted to go
couple
to
months
California?
ago. That I don't know.
Who was the?
Raina was in tears when she called and talked to me.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, work out disputes, recoup money, go after the bad guys. And I'm probably forgetting a lot of other things. Right now we got lines full, but I'll always let you know when a line's open. 303-713-8255. I have gotten 3 texts for Dr. Joel, and I promise I'm going to get to those. They all have to do with neuropathy and their new treatment down at Denver Regen. So we're going to be diving into this. But right now I've got Greg Martinez on. We had a call yesterday from Bob. I'm going to bring Bob up real quick. Bob, just to recap, what happened last year? What actually happened with this concrete job?
It was this last month. Basically, the whole thing started off great. Greg is a great concrete guy. He's very knowledgeable. He knows his stuff. That's why I hired him. Okay. And I think he realizes that. And really the basis of your show is to, I think ultimately to work out disputes.
Yeah, it is. But Bob, what actually happened? Did you give him money down? If so, how much did you give down?
Greg required half down, which was, I paid him $6,000 and two $3,000 increment payments.
And then what was the scope of the work?
Scope of the work was the prep work, all the prep work required for some concrete flat work, and there was a footer and a stem wall that he was going to do.
Got it. So what ultimately is the issue right now?
Well, the issue is that we got into a dispute. The project was put on hold.
Was that your doing or his doing?
I think it was a combination of both.
Fair enough.
I think it was probably a misunderstanding on his part and my inability to communicate fully what I was trying to tell him.
Okay, well, tell me what you were trying to tell him.
Well, there was a lot of things that I felt that needed to be done prior to doing the final formwork and flooring. One of them was a big issue and it's been uncovered. There's a lot of extensive tree roots underneath where the new concrete's going to go. So I kind of wanted to put the skids on things to get that taken care of. And I also mentioned that I was going to be about $1,200 short. If he had gotten the job done in 1 week, like was on a schedule, I was going to be about $1,200 short. So I said, well, maybe we should push that out to next month. And the 24th of June kind of popped up because of the funds that I can get. Because I'm trying to do this out of pocket.
Hey, Bob, what are you, I still really want to get to this part. So as of this very second, what is your beef with Greg? What is your beef with Diamond G?
Well, that he accepted the $6,000 and that he wasn't able to stay on the job long enough to at least complete as much work as he had been paid to do. And then we would have stopped at that point and then worked out, completed the balance of the work, which I would have paid him in full once it was completed.
So what do you want from him now?
I would like to work this dispute out and kind of backpedal and stop, pick up where we left off with a good relationship and try to get this job done. And everybody will get paid. I'll be a satisfied customer. Everybody's going to be happy.
Well, okay. Well, then hold on here. So I've got to, of course, ask Greg Martinez. First of all, he's the owner of Diamond G Concrete. We appreciate you calling and returning our call, Greg. So you kind of heard where Bob's at. Where are you at in this?
Is it possible that I can read what really went down?
Yeah, of course you can. Go, please.
So, Diamond G Concrete, Greg Martinez, on Saturday morning, May 31st, when the employee, Greg, was getting ready to work, that Bob, the homeowner, stated to him that he wasn't going to be able to pay the remaining balance after the job was done until June 24th of 2025, which is approximately 3 weeks down the road. We will be done way before that date. On the contract, it states to be paid at completion of the job.
All right, hold on a second.
That I don't know.
Hold on, Greg. I get it. Hey, Bob, is that true? You basically told him you weren't going to be able to pay it till June?
And like I just stated, there was only $1,200 I wouldn't be able to pay. I had $4,000 already in another account that I was able to transfer. Then the May 31st, my wife went to our bank and got a credit line cash advance.
Hey, Bob, Bob, none of that matters. All I'm asking you, though, is did you tell their employee you weren't going to be able to pay it till June? That's all. That's all I'm asking.
Yes, but he did not let me finish my talking and as to why I was saying that.
Well, he's basically saying that's not what we agreed to in the contract. I understand where he's coming from.
Okay, then the contract was for 5-day completion. We had far exceeded that 5 days. We were into our second week.
But Bob, I asked you, when I asked you about the delays, and look, I'm going to talk to Greg again, absolutely, with the same questions. But when I said, who delayed it, you or Greg? And you said, well, kind of both of you. So why don't you focus on that for a sec?
Okay, on my part, I delayed it and said that I couldn't pay in full, but I could pay a portion of it, and we could maybe just complete that amount of work which I had already paid in.
How much needs to be left on this job, Bob, right now? Like, let's talk dollars. Let's say Greg did the entire job. How many dollars do you think are left to be done if the job was done?
The contract was for right about $11,640, I believe.
Yeah.
I was just I went ahead and rounded it up to $12,000.
Yeah.
Because he's already gotten his down payment, his upfront cash advance of $6,000.
Yeah, keep going now.
There was just an additional $6,000 left over. I told him, I tried to explain to him when I said I couldn't pay him completely, but I did have $4,000. So if we could at least complete $6,000 plus an additional $4,000 of work, which is $10,000, then once we reached that completion point of $10,000 worth of work completed, I would only need that little bit extra time to get the balance, and he could finish.
Okay, but Bob, what I'm asking you is right now, tell me if I got this straight. $6,000 of work has been done. If they knock out not yet.
No.
Okay, how much of work has been done?
And I think, well,
in your opinion, how much?
I would leave it. I would hope that Greg could itemize that. He has some labor.
He doesn't. However you guys wrote up the contract is how you wrote it up. I don't know if he itemizes it, nor do I know if it matters. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. How much work do you think's done? Is 50% of the scope of the job done?
No.
Okay, 50%, 40%. Are we close to 50?
I think it's kind of more like anywhere between 10 to 15%.
Okay, hold on. I put him on hold, Greg. I just want to stick to this part right now. How much of that job has been done? He's saying 10 to 15%.
All it needs to be done is form set it and pour concrete. But sir, let me tell you one thing real quick.
Yep.
This is the part where you're not going to understand. Okay, now we're on that part. Okay, now let me just go on real quick, okay?
Yes, sir.
I stated to Bob that I don't know if this was possible, that I would have to call the office and find out. I called and stated to Bob that this would not be possible, but we are not going to have, I would stated that this would not be possible, that we are going to have to revise the contract to come to a new agreement. Then, all of a sudden, Bob's spouse, we do not know her name is Donna, stormed out of the garage door and started throwing racial slurs at my employee, stating, "You are an illegal, you don't belong here." I quote, she said, "I am going to blow you up and your name on the internet. You are a fake." The homeowner, Bob, then flinched like he was going to hit my employee. My employee had to duck and move out of the way because he thought Bob was going to hit him. Bob came forward like he was going to hit him and then stopped. Simultaneously, Bob's wife is yelling and screaming and spitting on my employee. She spit on my employee twice, ranting and screaming, pointing her finger 2 inches away from my employee's face.
Hey, Greg.
My employee is stating no.
Hey, Greg.
My employee has stated no. Yes, sir.
Greg, I get you, man. I follow you 100% there. I would like help me again. What led up to this moment? Was it the fact that you guys wanted to do another contract because he couldn't pay according to that contract, the original contract terms?
Well, leading up to that morning, I got there, everything is fine. He goes, it looks great. So what I have done is I've got all the dirt graded, ready for concrete. I've got the backyard, front yard. I tore all the old concrete out, took it to the dump on a roll-off. That's already gone off the job. Everything is builder's grade.
No, I'm sorry, Greg. I think you I think you misunderstood my question. When the woman came out screaming racial slurs and spitting and everything you just said, what led up to that point is what I'm trying to figure out.
Because she was mad that she came out and said, why did you tell him that?
Tell him what, though?
Tell him, that he couldn't pay me till the 24th. She came out and she told Bob, why did you tell him that? And Bob didn't say anything. And then she looked at me and she said, you ain't done anything on this job. You haven't done anything. You are an illegal. You don't belong here. And I said, whoa, ma'am. I said, look, I stated numerous times. So I'm trying to pick my tools up and get out of there at this point because it's really getting out of hand. It's, that was very inappropriately, very unprofessional. So I'm right at this point. I'm kind of fearing for, maybe this guy's going to, I don't know what's going on.
All right, hold on.
At the same time that
Greg, because of the format of the show, I have to take this break. I want to continue it right on the other side. I'm asking you to please hold. And I also, Bob, you hold too. I want to know if this is true. Because if someone, I don't know if it's your wife or girlfriend or whoever, but if there was someone else involved, literally screaming at these people, spitting at these people, that changes this a lot. John Fuller Law. John has saved our butt a couple times. One, Lady T-boned us. He's a personal injury attorney. If you listen to the show, you know that. But Lady T-boned us, ruined the car. Suzanne had a broken nose. She had back injuries. He got us every nickel she had in insurance. Then when her daughter got rear-ended on I-25 a year later, same thing. He's the best personal injury attorney I know of. If you have any questions, if you have been hurt in an accident, call him up. You're going to get his direct phone number. You're going to be able to talk to the attorney, unlike these big firms, whenever you want. He's got a great team around him, but you'll deal with John. 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. I had to cough. That's why I did that. I'll come back and do the other two.
You need another water?
Oh, Jesus. All right, tell me when, Shannon.
You got like 6 doctors in there. What the hell's the problem? You can't get that looked at?
God. After this one?
Yeah, let's do it. 30 away.
Can't wait to tell you what.
Hey, this is kind of fun. You see that headline on Fox? Not now. It's gone. But inflation is up dramatically because of tariffs. It's up 0.1%. 0.1%. It's not up. Thought you'd get a kick out of that, Mark.
Jay and Henry Brett's Do It Right. XLRoofing.com is their website. XL is one of the biggest roofing companies in the state. In fact, you don't pay a cent until you're content. That's their motto. They can do any form of roof you want. Here's what I really love. You call them before you call your insurance company. They're going to tell you if you actually have damage or not, so you don't end up on a negative clue report with the insurance companies. XLRoofing.com. That's XLRoofing.com. Red Rocks Roof and Solar. Brooke knows how to find the grant money if it's a commercial project. And if you're just a residential project, she can add a battery backup to an existing system, save money on a new system. She can do a completely off-grid system. When it comes to solar, they do everything, and everybody is in-house. The salespeople, the installation people, the repair people, they're all right there. RedRocksRS.com. Trust them. They're great people. RedRocksRS.com. Now let's talk about, that's it.
So Miles sent a picture of his fish he just caught to one of his coaches. The coach says that looks like, he says that's probably a master angler rock bass. So if you take a picture and send it in, you'll get a master angler award. Like they're kind of rare for a certain size to catch. I said, so anyway, that's kind of, he sent a picture, and then separately to me, he says, Mom, look what my coach just said.
Cool.
One of my coaches said, I said, get a picture. It has to be 11 inches and a pound. And
let me see the picture again. Or it's not mine.
It is. Yeah, I've had your phone because of that. Go Cat guy. But look at the group text to all of us with your parents. He sent a picture. But I guess that's a...
Boy, that's a funky looking fish.
Yeah, it's an angler, or it's a rock bass. That's probably a master angler rock bass, this person says to Miles. If you send a picture, they'll give you a certificate for it.
Wow.
We'll see. So then I said, well, it looks like we're going to probably have to do a little decorating with some fishing stuff. Fishing, football.
Big mouth Billy Bass.
Fishing, football, and basketball.
Billy Bass, the one that sings all those cool songs on the wall. Remember the fish looks over?
That was so dumb. That is so dumb.
Isn't your friendly band Metallica coming to Denver?
Yep.
Sold our tickets. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. We just saw them in...
I know. I was going to ask you why you flew to Vegas instead of just waiting to see them here.
No, we saw them, Metallica, in Nashville like a month ago.
Right.
I would have seen Metallica in Vegas. For sure.
But you could have seen them here.
Wouldn't matter.
I had 4 tickets to here, but we sold them.
Yeah, I don't care about Invesco Field. Empower, whatever it's
and
called.
then Coldplay was there last night, but we just saw them in Vegas over the weekend.
I've never gone to a concert in a stadium. I mean, it seems like it's way too big to enjoy.
If you have nice seats, it's enjoyable. But if you're just in regular seats, I would not find that as... The only one I did it for was Taylor Swift. I think that caller is in the wrong, by the way.
Well, if all that's true.
Oh, by the way, I know you're, almost done with the job, but now I can't pay you till the end of June.
Oh, I'd be pissed as hell.
I like, how fair is that?
All right, 303-713-8255. I really just want to get to the bottom of this one. Hey, Bob, Greg was saying when this all went down, there was some woman there, I don't know who she was, but racial slurs, all kinds of problems, spitting at him. Is there any truth to that stuff? I sincerely doubt this guy would make every bit of it up, and I'm not saying that was you, but what happened?
Okay, number one, this was all captured on our Ring camera. Okay. Greg sent me the same accusations via email like about a day later. And so I kind of knew I was going to have to address them at some point. We had the El Paso County Sheriff come out and review all the video. Officer Gates, a sergeant with the El Paso County Sheriff, reviewed all of it. And he turned to me and said, I see a nothing burger here. There's nothing here.
Well, did she at least get mad during the situation? I understand. Basically, what you're saying is that he's exaggerating the hell out of it. But what did take place on that ring if I looked at it?
Categorically, let me go through all of them. Okay, the racial slurs. She was upset that he wanted $6,000 in cash. We wrote him a check for $6,000. He said he couldn't cash it because there wasn't enough time to get it cleared to his bank to start the work, which they started the same day.
That's fine. So he wanted cash. So where does he go with the racial slur?
Okay, because my wife was upset. She goes, I'm submitting a 1099 form to you to make sure you pay your taxes to the IRS, because if not, you're illegal. And
so that's what was said on the ring?
Yeah, she was about 35, 40 feet away when she said that.
Okay, what else?
And he turned around and said, that you're racist. Okay, no. And then immediately she fired back, no, I meant the IRS. You're illegal if you don't pay taxes on the cash we gave you. So that was a misunderstanding on his part, number one. Okay, it's clearly on.
Yeah, keep going. Number two. Number two.
The spitting. My wife has had medical issues, and when she gets upset and she yells, she has her mouth, she does spit, okay? And she wasn't like literally spitting on him just to spit. They were arguing back and forth, and yes, she maybe spit a little.
Hey, Bob, I want to see this video. Can you send us over a link to it?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I haven't posted it. I've just got it saved in my computer. Okay. The final one about me, Greg thinking I was going to hit him. No, when my wife and him were arguing, I stepped in between him.
Okay, but it's all on this video. That's all I care about right now.
And he didn't duck. He just backed a couple of feet away. And I was just saying, come on, guys, let's settle down. I was trying to calm the situation.
And this is all evident on the video, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, Bob, let's move off that for a second. Do you have, if Greg would come out and finish the job, pour it, it sounds like he did all the dirt work and he did all the forming, and basically all we're missing now.
No, there's no forming done. There's no road base. There's no rebar. And there's no concrete.
Okay, hold on. Let me just backtrack where I was going. If he was willing to come out and get the job finished, when it's finished, will you be able to pay him at that time? 100% whatever the contract is.
Absolutely. I would be happy.
Hold on. Okay, Greg, listen, I don't know what went down in that video, but here's the good news. I'm going to be able to see it. I don't know if it's a misunderstanding or if your version of it is much more correct. Until I see the video, I just can't even tell you. But for right now, let's just say it was a misunderstanding. If this guy is going to pay you every cent of whatever that contract is, whatever the work is, are you willing to go back and finish the job, bury the hatchet, and you guys basically, I'm not saying you got to be great friends or buddies, but get the job done both in a professional manner. You get paid, he's happy with it, and move on. Is that a possibility?
So, after this whole incident and everything went down, I still reached out to him and said, we will continue the job on the 24th of June when you stated you would have the money. So that's already been established. I don't know where he's jumping the gun.
Okay, hold on, Greg. So you would...
On the email, it states, yes, we are going back on the 24th when you have the money, like you stated, and finish the job. That's where we're at. I have not once said...
Okay, great. That's great. And you're willing to do that on the 24th, get the job done, and then he'll pay you all the money.
That's what we have that's what I have in the email. I stated the 24th of June when you have the money. Absolutely.
All right, hold on. Hey, Bob, are you good with that?
Absolutely.
All right, listen, I'm going to bring you both up now. So we've got a deal here, it looks like. On the 24th, of this month. Greg, you're going to go out. You're going to get the job finished. How many days does it roughly take? I realize weather happens, things happen. When do you plan on being done if you start?
Well, it's pretty much, all the hard part's done was tearing out the concrete, getting the...
I got you.
And, setting and all that. So I would say there's 3 days maybe left. That's it.
So within a week, 3-4 days, you're going to be done. And Bob, you have all the money to pay him the second he's done.
Yes, I do. And as far as the timeline, I would rather that Greg did the job that I know he's capable of doing. I don't care if it takes a week or 2 weeks because I know he's going to do a great job.
Yeah, you've said that. And Greg, he has spoken very highly of the work you've done. No doubt about that.
Yes, sir.
So let's do this, guys. I think we're all on the same page. Greg, you're going to be out there on the 24th. Bob, you got the money, right? I mean, we're not missing anything here.
Not missing anything. It's all there.
Greg, you good?
Yeah, I am. I have it on his email. I did this one day after this incident.
I love it. Listen.
Conclusion then.
Listen.
So, yeah, I'm on board.
I love it. So I put Bob on hold. Greg, first of all, I appreciate you coming on. When businesses come on, it tells me a lot about them. And it's not every day I get a complaint from somebody like Bob where in the same breath he says what great work you did. I still am going to look at that video. I am going to assume at this point that there was some miscommunication and everybody lost their mind. To be quite frank, that's what I think happened. But if I look at it and it was like, really over the top, I will do a follow-up on the air about that as well. So I just want you to understand that, but I really don't think that that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be somewhere in between.
I kind of do. I don't mean to cut you off, but I kind of do because my demeanor was professional. I stated many a times.
Yep.
All I want to do is, do a new contract. He got he is exaggerating his point. That's the key right there.
Yep.
That video will tell the story. You'll see how vile and vulgar his wife and him are.
Greg, I promise I'm going to look at that. And Kelly, make sure we've got Greg's information. But all I really care about right now is we're all on track for the 24th. That goes for you, Bob. That goes for Greg. Let's get this done. Let's get it in the past. Everybody will be happy. The work should be of good quality according to Bob and Greg. It's going to be good. And maybe, Bob, you kind of stay away while they're finishing up and just get through there. Don't have your wife there. Let's not escalate this, for God's sake, any more than it needs to be. And, Bob, last thing is, when am I going to be able to see that video?
I'll get that sent in. And just kind of in final closing, like I said,
Bob, it sounds like everything's going to go good from here. So watch your final closing.
Well, there is some, I need to still work with them because the root system that was buried and compacted under where all the new concrete's going to go, that had to get dug out. So I've been, with a lot of time and effort and money expenditure, I have been correcting that situation myself.
Is it done? Will it be done? Will they be ready to go on the 24th?
Yes. I've got final track.
Did you undo anything that is going to cost Greg more money?
No.
Okay.
The only thing that, if it does, him and I can calmly, professionally discuss that, and I will compensate him for whatever he feels.
Hold on. It's a monkey wrench. Greg, something with the root. Are you going to be able to deal with that?
Sir. Look, I'm not going to go any further right now. I'm not going to speak on that any further because I don't want to jeopardize anything I have to say. So now he's bringing up other issues that I'm going to have to address. I'm going to have to address that.
Okay.
Because I'm not addressing it over
I got it. When can you go look at it?
I'm not going to put myself in a corner.
Yeah.
And, he's going to try to.
Hey, Greg, I appreciate what you're saying. You probably need to look at it, or at least look at a picture of it and figure out if it's going to cost you any more money. And if so, Bob said he will pay you for that.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll figure that one out. I'm not going to do business because I don't know exactly, what the scope of the work is going to.
I understand. So do me a favor. Make sure, Kelly, we have both their information. You guys need to get together, get out on this. And then, Bob, I do want to see that video, man. Make sure you get me that video today. I'm sure it's somewhere in between, but I want to look at it. Everybody hold tight. John, you're up next. I'm done. Where is Miles fishing? It must be in Chadron.
Yeah. Or he was fishing up in the... Can you fish in the state park? I don't even know.
Yeah, of course. As long as you have fishing license, I would assume so. It's like Chatfield or anywhere. You can't eat the fish in Chatfield, but you can fish.
Who would want to eat the fish in Chatfield?
Okay, let me tell you about Fix It 24/7. I'm going to give this to you straight. There can be a company that comes out and tells you you need a $5,000 repair, or if you want to get a new system, that's $10,000 or $12,000 for a new furnace and AC, or maybe even more in some cases. But the bottom line is prices can dramatically change between different companies. Fix It 24/7 will give you a free second opinion, and you have to have it. We're talking thousands of dollars. If you've been putting off that new system because another company said it's $10,000 or $20,000 or whatever, or that repair is going to be $3,000 or $4,000, these guys will give you a free second opinion, and most of the time they're going to be able to beat the price. FixMyHome.com. They do electrical, they do HVAC, they do drain cleaning, they do plumbing, water heaters. It's a home service company. We've been representing them for almost 10 years now. Great company, FixMyHome.com. FixMyHome.com. Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. These guys put it all together. When you start thinking about retirement, a lot of people think, oh, okay, well, that one money guy I have had, that retirement planner I've had, well, I haven't talked to him forever, but I see that he takes these fees every year or every month for that matter. Well, they're just not going to talk to you about different products they sell. They're going to actually help you with what kind of cash flow you need. They'll help you with Social Security and benefits. They'll talk to you about Medicare and supplements. They'll talk to you about long-term care, because that is so important right now and so expensive. And then, of course, estate planning, asset protection, taxes. These guys take your retirement seriously. Give them a call, 970-663-3211, or even easier, rpcenter.com, rpcenter.com. Oh. I hope he likes that house.
I'm looking at it again.
I love the area.
And the description says there's 2 outbuildings that looked pretty big. So I'm a little confused on there.
I didn't see him.
The description says this.
What does he need all that room for?
There's not much out there. Most of the stuff there was built in 1920.
No apartments available?
0 apartments.
Really?
0.
Mark, it says outbuildings. Complementing the primary residence are 2 impressive outbuildings. The 40 by 26 by 10 implement building offers ample space for storage and projects, while the 40 by 10 by 8 utility building is insulated and heated with propane.
Where do you see that?
The utility building features washer and dryer hookups, a sink, a hot water heater,
send
wood
me a
stove.
link.
It's the Zillow. It's the description.
Would you just send it to the link, please? The address. That's all I care about is the address.
You guys getting a new place?
Our son is buying a house in Nebraska because there's nothing to rent in Chadwick.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to send you the link, babe. Link.
So I occasionally park there, water and sewer hookup.
I might be moving in there.
Yeah,
It's such a nice house. There, I sent you the link.
And a darn nice part of the country, don't you know?
It looks, if you see the photos of the house and property on 5 acres, Shannon, it's got woods, kind of like our place out in Franktown. Did you get the link? I emailed it.
And you saw the outbuildings where?
I'm looking at I'm reading the description.
Beautiful fire crew. Mass Suite is private oasis.
And he may not even be there a ridiculously long time, but keep the property, right?
It's so nice. We actually mentioned that to him, like, you may not.
Because obviously
it's got
there's shifting sand not only under the property.
Oh,
but
I
under
see
his
why.
job.
Because you could almost.
Yeah. Well, Mark was talking to an insurance gal out there this morning about insurance on the place, and she knew the property said it's her dream home.
Oh.
Look at that. 2 impressive outbuildings.
Yeah. A built-in, one has a window AC unit. 50 amp camper hookup, Mark.
There it is.
OMG.
Done.
That's where our bus is going. I'm on my way to see my son now.
You can make him pay for your electricity for the bus?
Yes.
Oh, my God. That's awesome. 50 amp camper hookup. He could even, what do you call it? Be one of those Airbnb camping...
glamper spot.
Where you can camp on other people's property through some website. I forget.
Yeah,
kind of like Airbnb.
Almost like a VRBO kind of thing. Yeah.
You can make some dough doing that.
I wonder why they don't have pictures.
You'd have to keep checking the woods for human remains, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's an old couple that doesn't know how to put pictures up on the internet.
It's a brand new home. It's never been lived in.
Oh. But I would take that in a heartbeat. That's what I love about my house.
Okay, Mark.
All right, 303-713-8255. I hope Bob doesn't complicate that situation. Whatever's fair for them to do the rest of the work really needs to be done. And I will report back to people on that video. And if I don't get it, I'll report back. But I think I'm going to see it. It might be a little more aggressive. I'm dying to know now. I mean, really, I'm dying to know where that's going to pop up. I really do want to know. Hey, John, real quick, what's your question on probate?
So basically, I don't know anything about probate. I have a bunch of questions, and I don't know if you can give me a referral for an attorney.
Well, I can definitely give you a referral, but because this is a radio show, we'll do that. But what are your questions so other people can get educated as well? Did someone just pass away?
Correct.
And who passed away?
Yes. It's my brother.
And are you the sole heir?
No, that's why it's complicated, because there's other people.
Yeah, who else is involved? Was there a will or a trust?
So there's a will, but it's questionable. And then there's 2 daughters, and there's the wife. The wife doesn't really know how to handle all this stuff.
And why are you involved? She reached out to you for help?
Correct.
And what does the estate have in it? I mean, what value? If there's a house, for example, I assume the wife is going to stay in the house with the kids. Do they own a house?
No. The will, there's a couple of kids, his kids.
How old are the children?
They're adults.
Oh, okay. They're adult children. I understand now. And then does the wife live into the house, and does she own it?
She's a co-owner.
Okay. And what does the will say, for example, just about the house?
Well, no. Basically, it's all for the kids.
Well, that's fine. So what is the wife going to do?
Well, as far as I know, she has to open probate, correct?
Yes, she does. But what I'm saying,
open probate?
Yeah, yes. Well, yeah, if there's property, yes. But let me ask you this. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. She's not, when you say everything's for the kids, she's not going to leave the house, is she?
No, but they have multiple, like, rentals.
Okay, there's multiple properties involved. Besides multiple properties, how about other assets? Is there a lot of cash, life insurance?
Yes.
Retirement. Insurance. Okay, hold on. Let's do this.
Correct.
Here's what I want to do. I'm going to put you on hold. I want to get Dan McKenzie on. I think we set it up for after the next hour, Kelly. I think we really do that. So, I mean, just get him holding. It's no big deal. He's just going to have to hold a few minutes. And then I want to talk to Dr. Joel about, well, I got two texts here. Mark keeps saying, I love when they call me out. Mark keeps saying he's going to go back to the neuropathy treatment. What is it? Well, Doc, I'm just going to let you explain it right now. I mean, the treatment is stem cells along with PRP. Give us the rundown. What is this treatment? Then we're going to get into the effectiveness it has had on your patients.
So what we do when we treat foot neuropathy is first we do a grading of how bad the neuropathy is, and then we map out on the foot where we're going to inject. And so then we inject into 6 areas on the bottom of the foot coming in from the side. So we get the entire foot. We inject the entire foot. And what we inject it with is a combination of stem cells, of a product called MVT, or microvascular tissue. And this is a new product. This is just approved by the FDA about 2 years ago.
Nice.
And it's used in wound healing. And what it does is it promotes new blood vessel growth.
And what do the stem cells do? If that does new muscle growth, the stem cells you inject into someone's foot that has pain due to neuropathy, what do the stem cells actually do?
So the stem cells will regenerate the nerve. They'll regenerate the damaged nerve.
Basically rebuilds it.
Rebuild the nerve cells. But it also needs blood flow in order to function properly, and that's part of the cause of the neuropathy. So the MVT, the microvascular tissue that we also include in our mix of regenerative medicine products, is what promotes new blood vessel growth. So the blood vessels will grow new pathways to the damaged nerve, and the stem cells will repair the nerve.
So the stem cells are almost like, well, of course, they're better than PRP, but they're going to go to where they need to go. I mean, is that pretty much it? Or the stem cells go wherever you inject them, and it really doesn't matter if it's a nerve or a muscle. I mean, don't stem cells kind of regenerate everything?
Well, what they do is they hone in on inflammation. So anything that's chronically damaged is going to be releasing inflammatory chemicals. And so the stem cells are attracted to those inflammatory chemicals, and then they interact with the damaged tissue, causing the inflammation to resolve, and then that creates an environment for healing naturally through your body's own healing mechanism, which is accelerated from the stem cells. And then in addition to that, the microvascular tissue rebuilds the blood vessels so that there's new improved blood flow to the damaged nerve for more permanent resolution of the issue.
When someone comes in that, let's say, when you generally talk about a pain level, is it like a 1 to 10 when they come in and you kind of start factoring it like that? Then I assume you actually take like, I don't think you would call it an x-ray, but some image of the foot?
Yeah, well, we'll want to see an X-ray to begin with, to start with, so we know what the anatomy looks like.
Got it.
And then what we do is we have instruments that we use. There's one instrument, it looks like a piece of fishing wire connected to a handle. And what we do is we tap that all along the bottom of the foot, and we map out where the numb and painful areas are, and that will give us. I'm giving a brief synopsis.
No,
we do
of
a couple
course.
more things, but that basically gives us a map of where the problem is,
which sets up where the injections go.
Right. Although we do inject the entire foot on everybody with this issue, no matter what, it gives us an idea of what we're starting with, how bad it is, so that we can we can measure the improvement over time, and also know where the worst part of the damage is.
Okay, wait. So I got to take this break. Listen to this, folks. When we start talking about the results, you're going to be flabbergasted, and I'm not kidding. We're going to do a little deeper dive into this because I've gotten 4 emails at this point about it. But, John, we're getting on an attorney to help you after the break as well. Everybody hold tight. What is this? Starlink Performance Kit. You say I got a payment from Genesis?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sheridan Auto Tech. Yes, Uncle Kevin, you know what I love about him? He can take care of anything on your car. I don't care if it's a Ford or a Chevy or a Honda or a Toyota. I don't care if it's one of those Saabs, and I can't stand those. But here's the bottom line. You got a problem with your car, he can fix it, and he can do it for a better price than what the dealerships do. On top of that, if you just need general maintenance, like tire rotations or oil changes, he can do those as well. He can do it all, and you're going to absolutely, positively love the job he does. SheridanAutotech.com. That is the website. You can see the location there. SheridanAutotech.com. Quiet Cool Whole House fans, we have not talked about them for a while because it's been cold. These things are absolutely amazing. You can save from 50 to 90%. Think of those numbers off of those high AC costs during the summer, and then it can cool down your house 5 to 10 degrees in a matter of minutes, and then, of course, cooler over, a half hour. And it also gets rid of all the pathogens, the dust and dangerous gases or any kind of smoke in your house. And then the ventilation, it brings in all that fresh air. But what it does, the miracle is this. It takes all that nice, cool, beautiful basement or walkout basement air and brings it up to all the other levels and flushes out that hot air. A lot of people turn it on in the morning. You can set it on a timer or you can automate it, and it just does everything for you. But you get rid of those sleepless nights, you cut the AC bills, and it's very quiet to operate. You're going to love this product. Give them a call at 303-800-3419 or check them out at QCcolorado.com. Don't be fooled by the other brands out there. You want this one. QCcolorado.com. Let's talk about Brad O'Brien. You know what O'Brien does? I'll tell you what Bradley O'Brien does. He is a skilled real estate attorney with a great crew over there. Anything residential or commercial, when it comes to real estate, that's what he does. Maybe you're an unmarried couple buying a new house, or you're looking at buying a piece of property and you just want someone to look at the financing, do a review of that. They can review contracts. They can create or look at buying and selling documents, leases. If you're a landlord in Denver, you better make sure you got the proper lease these days in case you need to get rid of a bad tenant. Property line disputes, adverse possession, title and survey reviews, clearing titles, quiet title actions. The list goes on and on. The best way to say it, and he's an expert right here on our show. We use him all the time. If it has to do with real estate in the state of Colorado, residential or commercial, you call Brad. 720-370-7388, 720-370-7388, or OLSlaw.com.
So, Doc, I just had a thought, and I just wondered. So, people coming out of COVID with the smell and taste issues, the distorted smell, anosmia, paranosmia, all that. I hope I'm saying that right. So they say that that's your olfactory nerve that's damaged. So I wonder if stem cell would help something like that. If you've got you know what I'm saying? If that's truly what it is, you've damaged your olfactory nerve and it's inflamed, it would stem cell. Could you entertain something like that?
Probably. You know what that typically is a result of? It's the supporting cells that are like filters before you get to the olfactory nerve.
Okay.
That get damaged, but those typically regenerate pretty rapidly.
Okay, because I'm probably, 90 to 95%, and it's been 4 years. But it was really bad there at the beginning, you know what I mean? Really, it was life-changing.
I had the same thing happen to me for 10 days.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and mine went from no smell to distorted. So then that's when it got really bad, when I couldn't eat anything. It was so everything smelled like burning chemical. Even a little coffee left in our car. I would be in tears after the show if he left coffee in the car because it would smell so bad.
Oh, man.
So that's like what I'm talking about. People that are severe like that. I wonder if it's worth entertaining at all, like trying. I mean, I might be a lost cause because I'm mostly recovered.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people, like I had to join a support group, people that haven't even recovered 50% since they had COVID 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
So anyway, when you talk about damaged nerves, like that's how I've always read up on it. Like it's your, but maybe it is a little different than what I was understanding. Like you're saying, it's not.
Well, it'd have to be done with like a nasal spray.
Of stem cells?
Of stem cells, yeah. Which could probably be done. No, I think they use something like that for PRP. I mean for COPD. Let me see. Let me do some research because it might already exist. Let's see.
God, what a beautiful house. You know that in Colorado would be, I don't even know how much it would be.
Oh, I doubt you have any time coming back. Look, it's already on the 57.
Yeah.
I was.
What am I gonna have? Like 30 seconds? Am I gonna have 30 seconds or no? Perfect. It's exactly what I was shooting for.
I'll throw some ideas at you, Mark, after we go to the big break.
On what?
On the Miles stuff. I just was thinking about a couple of things. So.
They do use a nasal application of it to treat brain damage. To treat like blood.
All right, listen, we got a lot kicking. I got an expert coming up for John. He's got that question on probate. We're going to be talking to Dr. Joe. Wait till you hear what they can do for neuropathy pain now. It's unbelievable. Everybody hold tight. Another hour coming up right here on the Troubleshooter Network.
So they already have a nasal spray, huh? Is it, forgive me, I'm not very knowledgeable in this stuff, of stem cells or PRP, or is that the same difference?
Stem cells. It looks like the research articles I'm looking at, but they're to treat like brain injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like they're using umbilical cord stem cells. And they're using mesenchymal, so they're using bone marrow-derived stem cells to treat stroke that way. Let's see if I can find anything.
So anosmia, if I'm saying that right, it's the partial or complete loss of the sense of smell, but mine went from anosmia to paranosmia, which was the distortion, like totally distorted.
Okay. What were you saying?
I was just sort of toying with, just throwing some thoughts out there. I'm not asking you to decide or anything, but like, there's a couple of RV parks up there. If we coordinate his closing and if we're able to coordinate his closing, assuming it goes through, let's just assume, and the concrete guy, we take the bus and the dogs up to him, and
I'm not against it.
I know you're not against it. I was just sort of toying with that whole idea.
We could even stay at that property. It's got a full plug-in.
If he owns it. I'm just saying, like, I just wonder about somehow coordinating that if it came down to it.
Morons. Those are those Reddit users.
What's that?
Those are the Reddit users you're talking about. The same people who just got arrested.
I don't think Tom would have dropped those two. Do you?
Huh?
Jesse says Tom would have dropped those.
Oh, I sent that to you because I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, but do you think Tom would have dropped them? I don't think so. No way.
No, because there weren't a bunch of people waiting to get on.
I don't think he would have dropped them in a million years, actually. I wonder why that guy thinks that. Peacemaker Mark.
I don't even understand what he means by that. Tom would have dropped those two. I think he meant like he would say them, like Peacemaker Mark. Well, he already calls you troublemaker sometimes.
Well, I'm going to ask him. Or you ask him. What do you mean by Tom would have dropped those two? No way. I can't even imagine you would drop them. Anytime we can have the business and the caller in is great. Are you kidding? Drop them. There was spitting, racial slurs.
That is what he meant. I see.
There was everything.
I'm thinking he would have dropped some of those names that Jesse sent. This guy is saying he would have dropped those callers long before you did.
I don't know.
Big deal. I thought it was good radio.
I don't no, what I'm saying is, why does he think Tom would have dropped them is all. Ask him for me.
Why do you think Tom would have dropped them? Joe Chiano's asking what time on Wednesday? 2 p.m. right after the show?
Next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome, my friends, to the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. Our goal in life is to make yours a little bit better. We even did a little bit of a negotiations today for somebody, and we've got an update coming up on that poor dog that was shot yesterday. We've got a lot kicking. Hey, Kelly, did you reach out to Dan McKenzie?
Texted me back yet, and he wasn't answering his phone.
Okay,
so we may have to reschedule.
So, John, listen, I want to get an attorney on to talk about what's going on with the death of your brother. We definitely want to do that. So hang on. Kelly, make sure we got his information, because we can always call back the second we can get McKenzie on. And hopefully that'll be this hour. But, John, I wanted to get you that free legal advice and what you should do and kind of dig into that. So we're going to do that. And then Deputy Chopper has an update on that dog shooting. But I want to tell you something. Frank Duran, the real estate man, when he sold our house in Castle Rock, you know, he listed our house in Red Hawk for less than that same model was going for anywhere in the neighborhood. And I said, Frank, what are you, nuts? That's all part of his secret sauce. I'll tell you the bottom line. I'll skip to the end. I'll skip to the good part. You ready? He made us more on that model than that model sold for anywhere else in the neighborhood. Frank Duran sold our house in less than 2 weeks, and he sold it for more than that model got anywhere else in the neighborhood in that period of time. Absolutely remarkable. You want the best realtor, you call Frank Duran. In fact, check out his MLS stats. Frank sells more homes for more money in 1 month than most realtors in the entire state of Colorado do, which is an absolutely amazing thing. Now, we're going to go to that update on the dog thing from yesterday, but I got to recap it real quick. Here's the bottom line. This guy calls during the show, and it was amazing. He's sitting there. A ATF officer walks through his fence, and his front yard is fenced in, opens the gate, comes in, according to the caller, opens up his screen door, and he was there to talk about a stolen gun that the caller's wife reported stolen. So he was there apparently for that reason. Dog hears the guy open the front screen door, comes running out. I believe it was a pit bull mastiff mix. I mean, we're talking a pretty big, beefy, scary dog. And the cop laid 4 bullets into it, afraid for his life, or I should say ATF officer. That is what happened. It happened live right here on the air. The guy called, and the cops were on their way. And by the time the conversation, an hour or so goes by the time we let that guy go towards the end, I think it was the Greeley police. Does anybody remember what police agency? Offhand, Lafayette. I believe it was Lafayette. But Deputy Chopper, he's one of our deputies, former police officer for Denver. You reached out. Was it to the Lafayette Police Department, Chopper?
I reached out to both Lafayette and the public information officer of ATF.
And what did we find out, man? Did I pretty much say that story right? It unfolded pretty much live on the air, at least the aftermath.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a little bit of a change, which I'll read to you shortly. But Lafayette got back to me right away, their division chief or deputy chief, and they basically said they just responded to the scene because there was a call of shots fired, and they really didn't do anything more than what we would call cover ATF, and they didn't get involved or do any criminal charges because, unfortunately, it was a dog that was killed. I'm a pet lover. I know how horrible that had to be.
Chopper, you were a cop. I didn't understand something you said. So when they responded, you said, I think you just said protecting ATF or something along those lines. What do you mean by that?
That just means that they may need more assistance because things could go bad, which they did, as we heard on, part of that call yesterday.
Yeah, they did. They were starting to get crazy. Now, let me ask you another question before we get into the update.
Sure.
In your experience, when something has federal officers or federal law enforcement involved like this, ATF is showing up there, according to the caller, because his wife had a gun stolen, something like that. And if there's an update on that, that's great. I'd love to hear that part. But when there's federal officers, then the locals come in a case like this. Do locals have any authority whatsoever? In other words, why isn't Lafayette doing an investigation into this, or are they?
Actually, according to the deputy chief, they're not, because there was no criminal act in their mind, because what happened went down lawful by the ATF agent.
Okay, now
I will tell you, Mark.
But wait a minute, Chopper. Wait a minute, though. You glanced over my second question, or part of the same question. Let's say something, according to the caller, the guy opened his door, which he probably shouldn't have done. Let's just say that was on a Ring camera. Let's say this guy had proof that the ATF officer walked into his house or opened his front door like he stated yesterday. If there was proof of that, would the Lafayette police then do an investigation, or they simply don't have the authority to do one because the feds trump the locals?
Well, they could do an investigation. That's correct, Mark, but you're right. They would more than likely turn it over to the FBI to follow up on an investigation, or ATF, which we'll get to shortly in this paragraph I have, would follow up and do the investigation.
All right, go ahead. Give us the updates. I'm dying to know.
Okay. First of all, the one thing is that gun was never reported stolen because she didn't know the serial number. But I got a statement from the Crystal McCoy, the public information officer of ATF. It's very short, and I'll read it. On Tuesday, June 10th, a special agent approached the front door of a residence to contact the occupant as part of an active, ongoing violent gun crime investigation. Receiving no response, the special agent began to leave when a large, aggressive, unrestrained dog charged towards the agent, at which time the dog attacked the agent and bit through the agent's clothes. In order to stop the attack, the agent used it says there, but it should be the agent used his issued service weapon to kill the dog. ATF Denver Field Division referred the incident to ATF's Professional Responsibility and Security Operations Division and the local enforcement for review. That big words that they were saying is basically their internal affairs.
Yeah.
And so then I asked two other questions to them that came to my mind. Was there a sign on the fence that said, "Beware of dog"? And then I asked, did the agent push the door open and start to proceed into it? Then I got the typical federal response. And remember, I did do some work for FEMA. And it basically said, "We can't say anymore." And that was it.
Wow, so we don't know what the answer to that would be. I mean, that's crazy. They wouldn't respond to that. Well, I guess it's not crazy.
It's their procedure. Even at FEMA, we did things like that. But, Mark, I just want to make one statement before we go off on this. And you're going to ask me probably some other things. And I used to say this all the time when I wrote up my internal affairs stuff.
Say it.
And it applies here. I wasn't at the ballpark. Don't ask me to call the balls and strikes.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. Here's what was interesting about that statement to me. What stuck out is that gun apparently was stolen, and it sounds like it was used in a commission of some crime, whether a violent crime or, I don't know, some crime. And these people weren't responding to it. So they went over there to investigate. Now, I'm not saying they were alluding to that these people, or they thought that maybe these people had something to do with that crime. I mean, how did you read into that?
I read into it basically what you said. ATF followed that gun down to these people, and they wanted to go there and say, hey, what went on? Or they might have thought that maybe these people were involved in the crime, a conspiracy after or before the fact.
They were very elusive in that. They were kind of damning in one way, but very elusive in another. It's a very well-written statement when it comes to that part of it, because it really made me think of numerous different things.
Yeah, you're correct. Now, I will also say one other thing that I would have done in my career. We would have been contacted and gone with ATF to the house, because we were uniform officers. And a lot of times people don't know, what an ATF guy looks like.
Well, you know what
he's dressed like.
You know what's interesting about what you just said? You just sparked another thought. And that is, this person apparently showed up by themselves, no backup, no police. So they must have not thought these people were violent, or why would one person show up? That doesn't make sense, does it? In other words, if they thought they may have had something to do with this crime, then why would they show up? Go ahead, Suzanne.
So in Tom's notes, it says that the ATF agent came onto his property to serve his wife some papers.
Yeah, he got it all mixed up.
Okay.
The whole thing went down so quick. At first, and I want people out there to understand what Suzanne's saying, at first, what they thought was someone was serving either child support or divorce papers to the wife. They had no idea this had to do with the stolen gun.
So they genuinely thought that was what's happening.
That's what they thought at first. And then when the ATF got involved during the call yesterday, the ATF showed up. That's where the real story started coming out. So that's
You're
curious.
Absolutely right, Mark. Mark, you're right. If they would have thought this was truly involved, I would have thought there would be 2 or 3 agents.
Yeah, or they call for local backup.
One runs.
Yeah.
Yes, and called Lafayette. So I think they were just going there to do hey, what's going on?
It's horrible.
Why didn't you report the gun?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yes, stolen.
Well, and I think they did end up reporting the gun because they were in some form of communication, if I understood the guy right yesterday. But here's what's really nuts. In Colorado, okay, first of all, this is just my opinion. So I got a dog gnawing at my leg. I'm shooting the dog. I'm sorry. That's a big dog. They said it was a Mastiff mix. I don't know what the mix was, but it's a big dog. The dog, should have the guy walked through the gate? No. Should the guy have opened the door if he actually did? I bet they claim they didn't, but no. But once it's too late for all that, and there's a big-ass dog gnawing on your leg, I'm going to pop it too. I'm sorry. I'm just going to do it. It's too late for anything else. The dog could literally kill you. If anybody's ever seen a bull mastiff, I mean, you think a Rottweiler's got a big head? Look at a bull mastiff. It can kill a person. They hunt bear, for God's sake.
Hey, Mark, if he just opened his screen door to knock on the wooden door, that wouldn't be any kind of invasive of private property.
No, I don't think so either, but he's saying that door was open and they opened the screen door to kind of yell in, hey, is anybody home or whatever. But regardless, they're denying that. There's no footage of it. But the second thing I want to say is, unfortunately, in a lot of states, you know what a pet's worth? Does anybody? We all love pets. My God, we love our dogs. We have 2 dogs, Dima and Nico, and a cat named Baby.
They're worth $1 million, Mark. Ours are.
To the person, they're worth everything, but they're private property. It's property. I hate to tell you that.
Right.
A German Shepherd, if it's got papers, is worth $1,500 to $2,500. If you've got a mutt, it could be worth $50. I mean, it's worth what it is. It's property. It's tender. It's like currency, but it's a dog. And I realize there's things there. So the damages in this, I just don't see any damages. It's a very, very horrible circumstance, though. Chopper, you got anything else? Because I got to take a break before Shannon throws me through a window.
Just one quick thing, Mark. You did an excellent job on that concrete. I got those two people to call on in because it was a major dispute.
On the concrete call with Bob. Yeah.
Yes, and you not being a helicopter pilot, you did a good job.
Well, I appreciate that, Chopper. All right, we got lines open. I'm dying to hear from you. Give me something to sink my teeth into. 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. And we're going to dive back into this neuropathy and this new treatment from the folks at Denver Regen. I'm going to tell you a little more about my diet drugs, too, through these guys. These guys are great, man. Life-changing. Hold on.
I agree. If a dog's biting on your leg, you shoot it.
If you got a gun, you're shooting it. I'm going to do the long one, then I'll hit the brake, and we'll do the other one. You say I'm playing the short game?
You know what else I would like to know, Mark?
Go on.
Oh, I know you
don't worry. Be happy, or Joe Chiano, what I should say is retire happy. You know, I love the show we do on the weekends. We sit around, folks, and Joe and myself and Jordan, we talk about money and retirement and diversifying. And one of the things we've been hammering on is the anxiety people get because what happens, Joe? They work all their lives. They're used to that paycheck every couple weeks or every month, and all of a sudden they retire. You got to replace that paycheck if you want to live the same kind of life you did, and that's what the guaranteed pension is all about. Tell us about it, sir.
That is right. We actually had a caller yesterday in your radio show. He was in his 80s and he was asking Tom, about reverse mortgages. You know why? Because he ran out of money. He said it on the air. He ran out of money. His retirement ran out of money. And by the way, Mark, that's the biggest fear that people have today is running out of money. Now, the guaranteed pension account that we have will eliminate that fear because it provides clients a guaranteed income for the rest of their life.
And you never lose money on it. I want to tell people out there what I love. Here's what I love about this product, and it's an annuity. You can use your 401k to transfer into it or buy one. You can just pay cash for one. It doesn't matter. But if you have an old orphan 401k, this is perfect. Listen to this. And the longer it sits and builds, the more money you get when you do retire. But the second you buy it, let's take a round number, $100,000, you actually get a 15% bonus to start working from you on day one. When the stock market's doing good, your account goes up. That 115 could be 150 by the end of the year. At the end of 20 or 30 years, it could be millions of dollars. But it never goes down. When everything is good in the stock market, you make money. When things start going down, it ratchets in and cannot go down. And then the long-term care benefits are unbelievable. Let's say you get one when you're 50. You retire at 70 and you're getting $4,000 or $5,000 a month till the day you die from that annuity, till the day you die, and you get to the point where you can't bathe yourself or cook for yourself. The long-term benefits kick in, and that paycheck you get for life doubles. And Joe, what I can't believe is some of the long-term care facilities around here are up to $10,000 plus a month. Listen, find out more information. Reach out to my friend Joe. MyMoneyMyWay.com. Please reach out. Give them the numbers. I'm this old. How much will I get for life? How much of a bonus do I get? Ask the questions. MyMoneyMyWay.com. 303-779-6600.
So it'll be interesting to ask an attorney. If you have a peace officer, ATF, DEA, local cops, FBI, whatever, if there's a no trespassing sign on your fence and they have a legitimate reason to be there, whether it's, the there's an arrest warrant or they're going to follow up on a case, a legitimate reason, does that no trespassing sign apply to them?
I need to tell you about John Fuller, Fuller Law. 2 times he has helped Suzanne and myself out. One time we got T-boned. He got us every single penny that woman's insurance policy had. Every penny. He did the exact same thing for our daughter about a year later. I love the fact you deal with John directly. He's got a great team around him. But when you got a question for the attorney, you have his cell phone number. You can call him up. Not like these big firms. You'll never talk to any of those guys. Heck, you'll be lucky to have the same attorney throughout the entire thing. You'll probably deal with nothing but paralegals. Not with Fuller Law. Give John a call, 303-597-4500. Take it from me. 2 times perfect results. John Fuller, 303-597-4500.
So just to finish up, do you think that trespassing applies to them?
No.
I didn't think.
I think, no, it does not.
Did you know that, so now that the executive membership benefits are coming back through Costco, they emailed me what to expect. And maybe this stuff you already knew. I just didn't, I guess. Did you know they offer auto insurance?
Yeah.
And pet insurance? And
they offer
home
anything.
Insurance?
They sell cars.
Yeah. Life insurance? Payment processing?
Yeah, but it's all through just like Plumline.
Oh, okay. So it's third-party stuff.
It's all third party.
Okay. So you're not impressed?
No. The only company that I'm impressed by is Walmart when it comes to that stuff, and I'll tell you why. They do their own credit card processing. They have their own credit card now. They just kicked Capital One to the curb. Think about how big you got to be to just have your own credit card.
Oh, okay. So here's another one, which this is just shocking because of their technology. This is new. $10 monthly credit on same day or Costco via Instacart.
What's that? 1372.
But, so you're saying maybe we should get a Walmart card then? You're saying there's benefits to that?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked at the new one. I was reading, it was more of stock news, and they ditched Capital One.
Because they can do their own process.
Because they're doing...
Well, they do their own insurance and everything.
Well, I think they've always done their own processing, but I think now they're like... I think they have their own... If I read it, I should have dived deeper into it. To me, it was a big money-saving thing. They're not going to be paying Capital One for something now.
But you can still use the Capital One. You don't have to use the Costco card, right? Just like you can use a Visa card.
Yeah. All right, 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. This is so important. I sometimes we talk about stuff, and I just get very curious, but I have gotten no less than 4 emails about neuropathy. In fact, Dr. Joel, he's with Denver Regen. It really is amazing to me how many people suffer from it. And I guess the leading cause is being diabetic, right?
Yeah, most patients with severe neuropathy in their feet are suffering that from diabetic issues.
That's crazy. And you said the other extremities too, your hands, fingers.
Yes.
And it's like a sharp pain. People that have it, of course, know they have it. You guys take stem cells along with, I'm not going to pretend to even remember what part of the secret potion is, but what is it?
It's called MVT, which stands for microvascular tissue.
And it just got FDA approved a few years ago.
2 years ago for wound healing.
So it accelerates a wound.
It promotes new blood vessel growth.
New blood vessel growth to get the blood flowing better.
Correct.
And then once the blood is flowing better in the foot, for example, then the stem cells or even PRP or whatever else is in what you guys use basically can get to the affected bad nerve a lot easier because the blood vessel's open.
Well, the PRP combined with the stem cells are what's going to affect the healing of the nerve, and that will start happening right away because we're injecting it right into that area. What the MVT will do will grow new blood vessels to that nerve that's healing so that long term it won't become re-aggravated and continue to degenerate over time. So we're going to regenerate the nerve, and we're going to restore the blood flow so that the nerve stays healthy.
So it doesn't die again.
Correct.
Or get into pain again. So let's talk true results. In all seriousness, you told me, might even been yesterday.
It was a few days ago.
Yeah, sometime like within the last week, though, you had a couple patients, one of which had the procedure done, what, in the last week, 2 weeks?
Right. So typically what I tell patients is to expect to have significant improvement between weeks 4 and 6. 4 to 6 weeks is about how long it takes to
incredible
to really notice a difference.
Now, what do you mean significant? Let's say I want to go back to the pain scale. I assume you guys at some point ask somebody, you know, if your pain is here as a 1, here it's the worst at a 10. So let's take on my scale there. Let's say it's an 8. I mean, what are we talking in 4 weeks? Is it possible that that's even 50% better?
Yeah, it's likely that it's going to be 60 to 80% better.
60 to 80% better in 4 weeks.
Yes.
That's incredible. Does it ever get to the point where that nerve is fully functional, not in pain, the blood's flowing, and everything's good, meaning you don't have neuropathy anymore?
Certainly we've achieved those results with some of our patients. A lot of it depends on how bad and how long-standing the neuropathy's been. But what we do is when we sit down and we talk to each one of our prospective patients, we tell them what we think the expectation is going to be. So for every patient, that's going to be different. But the answer to your question is yes, we have many patients who've achieved complete, absolute resolution of the neuropathy from this procedure.
And like how many months to get to that kind of result? That sounds incredible.
We've seen that happen anywhere from that 4 to 6 week mark out to several months later, because the stem cells will continue to do the work.
They just keep going
for like 4 to 6 months after we've injected.
Even with just one treatment.
Even with just one treatment.
And how long does that take? Is this like you go get checked into a hospital and this is like a full day thing? Is it painful? I mean, give me the skinny.
It's about an hour to 2 hours in our outpatient clinic.
That's it.
That's it. And the only pain is going to be from the injections, but we numb the area that we're injecting. We numb the skin with lidocaine.
So it's like getting a shot.
It's like getting a shot. Well,
and
it's
you're
like getting 6 shots.
But it's, yeah, I was going to say you're getting multiple ones.
Right.
But that's the extent of it?
Yes.
And then you're saying...
Well, let me just make a caveat. We do a small blood draw at the beginning before we do anything so that we can extract the platelets from the blood and add that to the stem cells. But that's the blood draw with a small needle.
And then you were telling me people that are up to like 60 years old or somewhere in there, I forget the ages, you can use their own stem cells. And then people that are older, that their stem cells might not be in the best shape, if you will, you use basically a donor stem cell?
And most of the foot neuropathy cases that we treat, we use donor cells. And the reason being is that most foot neuropathy patients are in the older age group.
That's just part of it. I get it because that's the age group.
So we do typically recommend umbilical cord donor stem cells that we use in our procedure. Now, if a patient is insisting that we use their own, we have the technology and the capability to do that. Or if we're talking about a younger patient who's in great health, or even an older patient that's in great health but just happens to have this issue, then we will recommend using their own cells. But typically, neuropathy patients going to be older, and they're going to have other
You
health
want the
issues.
younger stem cells.
They're going to be, they're going to have diabetes, so their own stem cells aren't going to work as well as the donor cells would.
You know what, Ray? Hold on, I'm catching up on breaks here. Ray's got a question for you, Doc. So hold on. But to me, it's amazing just thinking that someone dealing with neuropathy, and my dad had it. Oh, it was like 2 visits ago, and he lost a lot of weight and started eating better and doing stuff, but his foot pain was crazy, and I didn't quite understand it at the time. This is going back a couple of years, and it just looked miserable. I mean, I couldn't feel it, but I could see it. In fact, his toes went backwards in a weird way. I've never seen anything like that. And I'm not so sure that's neuropathy, that part of it, but his foot was in pain. That was the bottom line. And it just looks miserable. And to think someone can get this treatment in under 2 hours and possibly be 100% within a couple months is mind-blowing. And then being 80% better in 2 to 4 weeks is insane, Doc.
4 to 6 weeks, but
4 to 6 weeks.
And I will say, anecdotally, recently, since we started adding the microvascular tissue, the results have the time frame has sped up. So we've had
once again that opens up the blood flow,
right, and it creates new blood flow. So we've had a couple of patients in the past month that we treated that within that first week of treatment were reporting to us significant improvement. Now that's not something that we're going to promise every patient they're going to get. Our typical recommendation or suggestion is that they're going to feel significant relief at 4 to 6 weeks. But we're getting a number of patients getting better quicker than that.
Everybody hold tight. DenverRegen.com. That's Dr. Joel's place. And I use them for the weight loss drug. And my journey on that has been great. And your MD over there, Dr. Hung, great guy. Everybody hold tight. Hey, Kelly, tell Ray he'll be first up. I'm using John Clace, or actually my son is, for his first house in Nebraska. CMG Financial. John's one of the branch managers in Colorado, but these guys loan billions of dollars a month, over $2 billion a month, sometimes $3 billion. They're direct lenders. There is no middleman. In fact, if you ever hear the problem, and if you bought enough homes, underwriting needs this. Well, underwriting is in the door next door to John. So these guys get things done, and they get them done quick, and they get them done at a better interest rate, including reverse mortgages, less fees, because they're the direct lender. Once again, there is no markup, no middleman. You're going to hear a lot of people out there on numerous different television and radio stations that advertise highly, but I'm telling you, they're middlemen. That's what they are. You go direct and you save money, you get a better interest rate, you get it done faster. You call John Clace, and that all-in-one loan, that 30-year first deed line of credit, no other product out there exists in the United States. It's huge in Europe. In fact, most of the world uses that because it's simple interest. All these other companies charge you all that interest in the first half of the loan. So by the time you pack up and move, you already paid a lot of the interest, not with simple interest. I want you to call John with any questions. And if you have something in your hand right now from another lender, call him, and I bet he beats it. 303-882-6679. John Clace, 303-882-6679, or partnerinlending.com. Can they, like in backs, sometimes when there's like a pinched nerve, they deaden it. They basically singe it so the pain's not there. And my understanding is that can even grow back over time. But the stem cells, what they do regardless, and that other stuff is basically just speed that process up big time. Yeah, I'm saying a nerve, I don't care if it's... well, actually, with the neuropathy, though, and the lack of blood flow and what caused it, without opening that up, I guess it would never repair itself without... yeah, or else... yeah, okay, I got
you.
You
need something for angiogenesis to develop new blood vessels to the nerves.
So that stuff's really a game changer, huh? That stuff from 2 years ago? You use it on the hair? You might just for the...
The hair procedure is a 3-stage process. So the second visit involves that.
What do you do in the 3 stages? First one is just evaluation.
Well, first is the evaluation, and then the actual treatment. Urine cells, so bone marrow, fat.
Oh, so it's about getting stem cells.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do that first.
Right.
And then I think the second visit we use exosomes, donor cord cells, and MVT. And the third visit we use platelet
I had the question on probate.
Mm-hmm.
He hung up.
and something else.
So should I just reschedule them for tomorrow?
They're done.
Okay.
yeah, tell Dan we'll use them tomorrow. Okay. But yeah, but you've got the guy's info, right?
80 years old.
Yeah, tell Dan we just can't grab him right now.
No, I got, seriously, I got 2 things for my mom. My hair.
All right, renew Windows. Let me look at something here, folks. I'm sorry, I got 3 things on my mind. Listen, I just want to get right to this question, honestly, for Dr. Joel. I'm just amazed by what we've been talking about. Oh, did he drop off? Wasn't that line 2? Am I crazy? Was that Ray? He dropped off. Ray, you waited that whole time, then you dropped off, or is that still him, Kelly? Hey, Ray, what's your question? Hey, Ray, you're up. What's your question, sir?
Hey, thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I've had tingling in my toes for the last couple of months, and went to my doctor and on Monday, and he said basically they're going to send me up to I believe a neurologist up at St. Anthony's North, off of 6th and Sims. My question is, I haven't heard the whole conversation since I've been driving, but is any of this covered by health insurance?
No, unfortunately.
You must get that question more than any other question when it comes to that.
We get that question a lot. No, unfortunately, health insurance doesn't cover any regenerative medicine procedures.
For anything.
For anything. I think they might cover PRP under Medicare. I'm not sure. But what we do to try and make it affordable for our patients is we offer a number of different financing programs.
Hey, Ray, and it's not that crazy. I'm not going to get into pricing because everybody could be a little different. But it's not like $10,000 or anything. And if you can stretch payments out and it gets rid of the pain, I mean, it is what it is. It's whatever it's worth to you.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ray.
It's okay. I'm not a pauper. I'm retired. I'm 68 years old. And
hey, how bad is your neuropathy, Ray? I mean, is it like on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably about a 2 or 3, maybe. I mean, I have tinglings under my toes the last couple of months, and now they're going to refer me to St. Anthony's up in 6th and Sims. They'll do some testing. I mean, this is all strange to me.
Hey, Doc, what do they? So when since insurance doesn't pay for these kind of procedures, that's just the way it is. Eventually they will be. In fact, I mean, who knows when, but eventually, why wouldn't they? In fact, honestly, insurance companies are so stupid because they almost wait till you might have to go in and get your damn foot cut off or something and have a massive surgery compared to fixing it when it just starts off like Ray.
That's right.
It's really crazy, and that goes for way more than just stem cells.
Correct.
So, but let me ask you this. Typically, what do they do? If you go through your standard practitioner, what do they do for neuropathy?
Well, they're going to do what's called an EMG test, and that just measures how fast the nerves are firing, how well they're functioning.
Okay, and let's say they suck. Then what?
Then you're looking at medications.
So then they basically pump you full of drugs.
Yeah.
They try to treat.
Gabapentin.
They're treating the pain. They're not. They're treating the pain, not the problem.
Great. They're like with a lot of medicine, they're treating the symptom, not the cause.
Yeah, Ray, I'd look into it. I'd call over there, and you were saying something about pricing when I said it's not over 10,000.
Yeah, well, it's going to range depending on how much we need to do. But, it doesn't cost anything to get a consultation with us. So
100%
reach
free
out to our clinic, denverregen.com, or go to our website, give us a call. We'll get back to you the same day. You'll speak with our patient coordinator. They'll get all the information they need from you, and then we'll get that over to our doc to do an evaluation. And we'll let you know, is it something that we can treat? If it's something that we can't treat? If it's something, oftentimes we might need some more testing or some more imaging to determine that.
And that's all free.
Yeah, to get that consultation will cost nothing.
One last question.
Go ahead.
All right. So you're telling me, and this is news to me, okay?
Yes.
So, although it's not surprising.
Go ahead, Ray.
They're going to treat me with drugs, is what you're saying.
Yes. Traditionally, yes. They're going to see how much nerve damage is there by whatever that test. What'd you call it? An
EMG test.
An EMG test. They'll get the results of it. Then they will prescribe some form of medication to help you with the tingling or the pain, depending on how that test comes back. That's usually what they do.
Right. There's really nothing that they can offer that's going to regenerate that nerve.
They just simply don't pay for that. So therefore, it won't even be an option when you go there.
All right. So if I neglect to go with them, what difference of treatment are you going to provide for me?
So, Ray, listen to what we're saying. The treatment these guys at Denver Regen, what they do is they go in and fix the problem. When the problem's fixed, you won't have the tinglies or the pain anymore. They're not treating the pain. They're literally fixing the nerve damage to make the nerve grow again so the pain goes away.
Okay, so I don't mean to sound stupid.
Yeah.
How did they do that differently? As far as treating, I haven't heard the whole story because I just got online with you guys.
Yeah, that's all right. Ray, hold on. I'm going to put you, here's what I want, Ray, because I got a break. But Ray, Kelly, make sure Ray has a phone number over to Denver Regen. And they will talk to him about every bit of this over the phone. They'll go over the whole thing, Ray. I just simply can't recap everything. Plus, I have to take this break. But it sounds like it's perfect. I mean, really, someone on the scale, it's starting out, Doc. I mean, this guy could see results so fast it's nuts.
Right. Well, the sooner that you treat that, the quicker.
Yeah, the sooner you do it, the better.
Yeah, the sooner that you treat that, the better. And we just need to do a few things to evaluate it.
All right, I got to take this. That guy just wasn't quite getting it. Although I bet a lot of people don't. Huh.
Yeah, it's not hard to get people to understand it.
Well, maybe Ray. Ray might have been drinking a little.
How's what we're going to do different from what they're going to do? They're going to give you drugs and tell you to take the drugs till the symptoms not being felt. We're going to regenerate the damaged tissue. Almost every one of the patients that we have come in is already on those drugs. Gabapentin, and there's the other one. I can't. Lyrica. Lyrica's the other one.
Yeah,
All right, my friends, let me tell you about another company I absolutely love, The Art of Granite. You know Mitch Floria. Here's the bottom line. Beautiful new countertops, either granite or quartz, any hard surface. Use your existing cabinets, your existing sinks, or you can get new ones from Mitch. His pricing is great. In fact, he does not mark up any of the product. He just charges for the installation and the fabrication. You're going to love them. We have used them so many times. 3 bathrooms, part of our kitchen, laundry room. TheArtOfGranite.com. Estimates right over the phone. TheArtOfGranite.com. QC, Colorado. Quiet, cool fans. You're going to be hearing us talk about them an awful lot. And here's what I love about QC. You can save 50 to 90%. Yep, you heard me. Off those high AC bills. You're going to love these guys. And the fan is super quiet. That's why it's called Quiet Cool. But call them up, get a price, very inexpensive, and it takes all that cold air down in the basement, flushes out the hot air in the attic, all in a matter of minutes. You can drop that temperature by up to 20 degrees every morning. 303-800-3419, 303-800-3419, or QCColorado.com.
See you tomorrow, guys. Joel,
Later, Doc.
See you too.
See you tomorrow, Suze.
See ya.
What's
Were you going to ask me something? You said, what's, and then stopped.
I don't remember. One minute, if that. How long coming back? Thank you. I'm just going to hammer your phone number. Or website, I should say. That is funny. That is how they treat stuff. They just throw drugs at it. It's nuts, man.
Yeah. Well, they make sure that that's what it is, and then they throw drugs at it.
Yeah, instead of just fixing it, which is just amazing to me.
So, Suze, I text message with the guy I work with at the clinic, and he said that we treat COPD with a nebulizer. So, theoretically, we would do the same thing to treat like olfactory nerve dysfunction, but it would be, an experiment. We've never done it before, but that's how we do it. So, like, technically, we could do it, but I don't see a whole lot of research on it other than mice models.
Okay.
But it's, it's a thought. It's just.
Okay.
You're almost back, though.
It's not a. It wouldn't be a cheap experiment. I mean, obviously.
Well, I guess that would be.
I could give you a good price on it, of course.
Yeah, but you're saying it's not cheap.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be something.
And see if it were. Well, let me know if it were 4 years ago and I was absolutely desperate.
Yeah.
That might not have mattered.
Right.
Now, so let me know.
Okay. And they may be willing to do it at close to cost just because it's it's a new thing, and if it works, then great, we know it works. So let me talk to them about it and see.
Sure. It's just an interesting thought when you guys were.
Yeah, it
talking.
never occurred to me.
Huh.
I think it actually did occur to me when it happened to me.
Yeah.
A number of years ago, but it got better fast enough I didn't even really think about it.
Dr. Joel, I know there are some desperate people out there that have not been as lucky as me. And I'm like 4 years and still not completely.
Let me talk to him, because if we can do it and he gets you better, and you can make a testimonial saying that, then
it would be interesting. Yeah.
And we're confident that we know that we can have an effect, then it might be something we can.
How many people do you think still actually deal with it?
I'll go back on my support page on Facebook.
It was thousands, but even thousands are like nothing.
I know my sister struggles still. She's worse than me, but she's a smoker.
I mean, I never would have thought the foot neuropathy market
All right, folks, listen, we've been talking to Dr. Joel Cherdak, DenverRegen.com. You have any questions on the neuropathy? I love the fact you guys, just a 100% free assessment. You talk to them, tell them about it. But it really drives me crazy, Doc, thinking how our primary care physicians and other people, all they simply do is they test you for the neuropathy, make sure it's there, then they put you on a painkiller.
Basically, yes.
I mean, that's insane to me. You guys can go in and fix it, and insurance should cover it. It really should. Our insurance in this country is absolutely ridiculous. They'd be way better off treating stuff permanently than trying to mask it up or getting someone addicted to opiates or something. And I'm not saying they give them opiates, but my God, pain medication, people out there, listen, if you suffer from neuropathy or if you're like me and want to lose that weight, which, by the way, 35 pounds in a very quick amount of time, DenverRegen.com, DenverRegen.com. We're going to have an update tomorrow for you on that engine rebuilder. Hopefully first thing in the morning. My name's Marc Mager. This is the Troubleshooter Network.